can't
mayhem
control
in the
guests.
studio here.
This is Larry.
That is Larry.
This is Larry, who's broken the pineapple. Larry, will you behave? You're a very special guest. We need you to sit down and behave. I'm not sure he's going to. Larry, alongside...
Rusty,
Rusty
over here.
are here because our next guest has dedicated his life to rescuing ill and injured dogs in Thailand on the island of Koh Samui.
And after posting some of the dogs that he's rescued on social media, Niall Harbison has captured the heart of millions of people around the world, successfully finding forever homes for more than 85 dogs who would have otherwise not survived.
We're in the truck again. It's actually multiple rescues. The first one is, unfortunately, he seems a little bit blind, I think. But worst of all is I think his hip is broken. We already need to go to the next place, which is puppies. Oh, look at that. They're all going to come running out. Little potatoes. You can see how many ticks and fleas. Okay. We're going to give them a quick VIP treatment. Basically, I think they need a little powder, a little bit of baths, a little bit of medicine. What a day. It's one of those days where you go home and you think, just a tiny bit changed the world for the better. We're going to try and save you. We're going to try and save you. We got very special news. You're going to be adopted. The Freedom Dance. Look at the Freedom Dance.
Oh, and Niall joins us now alongside two of the dogs that he saved, Rusty and Larry.
They enjoyed the dog, VT,
They
didn't they?
did. Did you see their ears going?
But...
So who are these guys and how did you rescue them, Niall?
Rusty he was on a chain, actually. He was on a really short little chain outside a little shack in Thailand. A chain was about a foot long or a yard long, and he just kept getting his leg cut up. And he was about half the size. He was really, really thin.
Yeah.
And he was leading a miserable life. He'd been on the chain for 18 months. He'd never been off the chain. Larry was a bit different. I found him wandering around in the main street, and he was just lost. It's as if we think he might have had a brain injury or something. He sort of has a vacant stare.
Oh, he's very chatty.
He is very chatty. So yeah, they're both really tough starts in life, like all of the dogs, but they're as happy as can be now. It's the first time I've seen them in... Rusty I haven't seen for 6 months since he lost Thailand.
Oh, really?
Or left Thailand, yeah.
Right.
How did all this start for you, Niall?
Just, well, the dog... I was an alcoholic, actually, when I left here in the UK. And I ended up in hospital in Thailand. I nearly drank myself to death. And I nearly did die. I was in ICU for 4 days. And I just said, I was lucky I got a second chance. And I was like, if I do survive, I'm going to do something in my life that's meaningful. And, oh, Mr. Rusty, come on. So, yeah, once I got out of hospital, I just started by feeding one dog, actually. And we now feed 1,200 every day.
1,200 dogs?
It's so interesting because when you read the book, your book is called Tina, the dog who changed the world.
One of these dogs has just done a fart that changes the world as well, by the way. I mean, Stephen Mangan's
going to be really happy about it. It becomes very obvious that you saved them, but they also saved you, especially Tina. Can you tell us about Tina?
Yeah, well, she was a really special dog. I found her on a chain. She'd been used for breeding.
Yes.
And if you saw the first photo of her, which I see on the screen, she was the saddest dog I've ever come across in my life. And rescued her, built her back up. She'd had probably 10 litters of puppies in her lifetime, but she was living in her own mess in the smallest little area, and saved her, built her back up. But she only lived for 6 months because the damage had been done. She had kidney failure. But me and her had the best time together, and I used to create memories for her, and so she was like, I guess, a soulmate. And now in her honour, I'm trying to change the world and save even more dogs.
But she was so lovely right from the start. But there was a moment where you tried to help her and then you fed her.
Oh, I was still fairly new to the dogs, and there's a thing called refeeding syndrome. So if you've been like, even a human, if your belly's shrunk and you're starved. I was quite new to dogs. So I was like, I got her off the chain and I was like, right, lovely big meal for you. We're going to spoil you.
Anything you want,
Yes, of course.
And it exploded her stomach with gas, and she nearly died the first night. So we had to sort of do an emergency literally punch her hole in, and the gas just came out. But she nearly died the first night, yeah. So I nearly messed up there. But
So you've learned an awful lot along the way.
Yeah.
And I imagine that you must be struck by the generosity of the people now that are helping you feed these 1,200 dogs a day.
yeah, we've got a brilliant team for starters. Like I still do it every morning on my moped. I feed 100, but we feed 1,250. Rusty would have been one of those back in the day. And we feed them like a mixture of, it's fresh food, like it's rice, carrots. It's nearly better than anything we eat. Coconut oil, kale. So they get fresh meal every day.
So you're looking after these dogs, but the plan is, ideally you want to try and help control the wild dog, or the stray dog population, don't you? That's the big challenge.
It's really hard for people here in the West to understand, but there's about 8 to 10 million street dogs in Thailand. So it's like the population of London in wild street dogs. So if you go down to the local, Starbucks or a restaurant, there would be 10 dogs outside it. So yeah, I realised early that sterilising, which is neutering, spaying, was really important. And we've done nearly 80,000 dogs now we've sterilised. So that's stopping some of the suffering. Yeah.
Wow. And people all around the world love their dogs so much.
Yeah.
And everybody's so interested now in your social media, which you didn't kind of expect, really. It's a complete surprise.
Yeah, it's funny because we're just walking through with these two just outside the studio, and it's funny, I was just watching, there's a canteen and there's about 50 people, and they didn't know who the dogs were or anything, but just you watch everybody's face, like,
drawn to
and they smile, and that's what I think why people follow me on social media is, it's just a bit of good news, like you go on, everything's so bad in the world at the moment, so I try and just tell their stories in a positive way.
And you've managed to rehome some of the dogs too.
Yeah, Rusty's in Yorkshire, Larry's in Norwich.
Liam Gallagher's got Buttons, right?
Is
that right?
Yeah. It is, yeah. Buttons was a tiny little dog who just came in one day to the sanctuary, and then I got an email about a month later in our application. Actually, in our application form, it was like, name, Liam Gallagher. And I was like, well, that's obviously, it must be a common name. And then I saw occupation, singer. And I was like, this is just my mates winding me up. But it turned out it was actually him, and he'd been watching the stories and stuff, so it was wonderful.
I just love the idea of him having a dog called Buttons as
Yeah,
well. You would never imagine it, would you?
No.
You'd never imagine it, totally not, no. And then are you going to set up a sanctuary as well?
Have a sanctuary at the moment, and we're building a hospital.
Building a hospital.
The hospital's open and we're treating dogs there, but we're building an even bigger one in the background. So that's named after Tina, which the book is about. So it's kind of she missed out on a really nice life. So it's kind of the hospital is going to treat so many dogs in her honour.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story.
It is an incredible story.
And Sandy, and
Look at all the ladies behind the camera going, shh, to the dog.
Niall's book, Tina the Dog Who Changed the World, is out now. Continued good luck with it. You're doing an extraordinary thing, and it's really special. It's lovely to meet these dogs.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
So what makes this relationship unique at the moment, and what has grabbed everybody's attention, is that you, Tristan, are 35 weeks pregnant. I have to say, you look fantastic for 35 weeks pregnant. I think I was huge and wobbling by this point. You have a very neat bump. Can we see your bump?
Oh, sure, yes. It is nice and round and solid.
Oh.
I actually just had an ultrasound this morning, and they said that everything looks like you would imagine a happy, healthy pregnancy would look.
Well, because originally for the two of you, being parents wasn't something that was really on the cards, and it was your sister who had two children, wasn't it, Biff, that you both ended up being guardians to those children initially.
We were thrust into parenthood, raising Biff's niece and nephew and then adopting them as our own. And I really wanted to keep growing our family, and adopting more kids was not financially, I think, something we could do. We can definitely afford another child. I don't know if we could afford another adoption. And that legal process was very emotionally difficult for our family. And we thought, well, we actually have everything we need to grow our family on our own. I would have to stop taking testosterone, and that's what I did. I went and talked to a medical team and made sure that that was advisable. And We know that this seems unique to a lot of probably your viewers, but in our community, we actually know quite a few transgender men, so men who are like me, who have the ability to carry a child, who have done so and have done so very successfully. So again, while it is something that might be new to you, for us in our community, it's actually not that groundbreaking or unique. So, the doctors said, absolutely, this is something you can do. There's no reason to believe you couldn't have a happy, healthy pregnancy. And it's been really wonderful so far.
Well, like so many couples, also, you did have to go through the heartbreak of miscarriage as well, didn't you?
That's right. 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage. And that did happen to us the first time we conceived. And it was very early on, luckily. So it's not something that I think was as difficult as it would have been if we were at a later point and more invested. So it was rough, but we did make it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. But I mean, thankfully, such wonderful news that you have now, which is an extension to the family, which will be brilliant. Because I know that Biff you took the kids to the zoo the other day. Apparently, had a brilliant time. So.
It was today that I was with them at the zoo. Although I suppose it was yesterday for you guys.
Yeah,
that's right.
Sort of couple of fundamental questions, which I'll ask because I'm pretty sure our viewers will be asking. Biff, first of all, as a gay man, I mean, we know that Tris is a guy, and you see him as a guy, but anatomically still a female. Was that a barrier or something that you had to just assign in your head?
I think the truth is, for all of us in relationships, when we meet somebody that we are attracted to, we are not attracted to every single part of them necessarily. And so it's totally possible for example, for me to really enjoy hairy chests and then to be with somebody that does not have a hairy chest. And I think that's sort of how I saw it, where that wasn't a negative thing. And there was so much else about him that I loved and was attracted to. And so that's kind of how I saw it and dealt with it.
Tris, the question for you is that we've met so many transgender people here in the studio with fascinating stories, but almost all of them have said, certainly when they were younger, they wanted to reject whichever gender they happened to have been born into and knew the one that they were supposed to be. And so for you to be pregnant is embracing the gender, so that what your female part of you could do.
Yeah, that's right. And I think I definitely went through probably a decade in my life where I was in that place where I wanted to absolutely reject anything associated with femininity or womanhood. And I think I've just sort of moved into a different place in my life where, I think there are a lot of gay couples that would love to be able to have their own biological child without a lot of intervention and assistance from other people. I think, quite frankly, there are a lot of men who would love to be able to carry a child. So for me, I kind of started to see it as a really amazing gift that I've been given, that I am a man. I get to live as a man, which is how I feel I am. And I also get to be able to do this really amazing thing that a lot of people would love to do. And that happens to be to carry a child. So I know it's not how most babies are carried. And I know it's not how most men are. But I just invite people to start to expand a little bit their ideas of what it could mean to be a man, what it could mean to be a father. And to know that it's something we take very, very seriously. Parenting is the core part of our lives.
Let's meet our first guest, who shares his home with 4 elves.
What?
Yep. But before you start having visions of Santa's workshop, these elves are actually life-size dolls that cost over £3,000 each.
Since acquiring his first elf back in 2014, Nick Royett spends his free time dressing them up, doing their hair and makeup, and even taking them to bed with him every night.
Well, he's joining us now with his unusual family. It's great to have him with us. Hi there, Nick. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, really
Very
intrigued
good.
to meet you, Nick. Before we get started, will you introduce us to your family of elves?
Sure, yes, no problem. The one to my right is Farishi. She's a forest elf. I call her, the Gaelic is Glass, because she's green. This is Iche. She's a drow elf, or a night elf, or black elf, a dark elf, sorry. This is Sorche. She's an Airgid, a silver elf. She's the princess guardian of Kavina, who is the queen elf, and she's the gold elf.
Ah, and Sorche was your first elf. Have you always collected elves, Nick?
Sorcha.
Yeah.
No, it all came out. It was something that happened. I used to fly model aircraft, and one of the guys said to me one time, he said, "You've got no pilots in your aircraft." So I thought, oh, it'd be quite nice to have an elf in my aircraft. So I did some searching online to get some elf pilots. I couldn't find any, but I did find that I could find this place would make me a full-size one, and I thought, oh, I'd like a full-size one. So that's what I got, and Sorcha was the result.
So when you say, oh, I'd like a full-size elf, I mean, that's quite a leap from trying to put one in a model aeroplane to actually having a full-size one. What was it about having a full-size elf or a full-size doll that you thought would be fun and interesting?
Well, yes, that's exactly the point. It is fun and interesting, and I build, I make their armour, I make their costumes, I do their makeup. Recently we had Sorcha on the back of a horse in full armour. Took some photographs of that. So it's an ongoing hobby. I've decorated my house around them. So it's an ongoing process all the time.
And when you say you've decorated your house, what have you done?
Well, it's this one's not quite the same as my house in Birmingham, where it was like the inside of a cathedral almost. This one is a bit more sort of Gothic, shall we say? So I've put the Gothic backdrops up on the walls. They're actually I've used them as wallpaper. So that the house looks bigger, because it's not very big here, to be honest, and it looks bigger, and it's sort of a nice background for the elves, and it makes good backgrounds for photographs.
We just had a little set. I think one of the elves has been getting into our sound here, because we all
one of the naughty elves, the Christmas elves.
Can we just double check we can hear you, Nick?
Oh, that would be Iche. She's
mischievous.
Iche's a bit mischievous, so it might be her.
Nick, one of the fascinating things about this, and people will be sitting at home watching, saying, and clearly you enjoy their company, but what have the elves brought you that you're not getting from some human companions?
Well, they're here, basically, Ben. They're always here.
So were you quite lonely then, Nick? Did you? I mean, is the point that actually you were quite happy on your own and you didn't have a lot of friends, and actually this has been a sort of way of creating a surrogate family?
I have friends, but I quite like my own space. In fact, I like my own space a lot, and I enjoy their company, because they're there. I don't do the psycho thing, and I don't sit there and have conversations with them. But if for instance I trip Farishi is sitting there, and when I walk past, I sometimes catch her feet, and I say, "Oh, sorry," and things like that. So you do anthropomorphise them a fair bit, obviously, because it gives them all personalities and a presence. And that's what you want. But other than that, they don't interfere with your daily life.
Well, I was going to ask you about your daily life, actually, Nick. So how do you function, and what do you do? And do you have a set routine that you do every day with them?
Not with them particularly, per se, because I have lots of daily routines, because I still work part-time. And there's just the general sort of day-to-day running of the house, because I'm on my own. It's the house needs looking after, it needs repairs, the garden needs doing. Since I've been here, I've built a shed, a workshop, a porch. I've had conservatory built on the back, a new bathroom, done all the insulation in the ceilings, had a new roof, had solar panel.
So
the list goes on.
Yeah. We saw a little picture, I think, you and Ishay. Ishay's the one that you take to bed with you. And I think one of the things that people...
This one, yeah.
That one there. But one of the things that people will be wondering is whether the relationship you have with the dolls is more physical as well. But that's not the case, is it?
No. I mean, all I ever, because I mean, she's wearing more clothes than most women do. No, just cuddle. They're nice to cuddle. It's better than the sadness of just cuddling a pillow, isn't it? And the lovely thing is that they actually warm up, and because they've got metal skeletons, they actually retain the warmth. So as long as they've got the bed covers on them, you can get out and potter around for a bit, come back to bed. And they're still lovely and warm. And of course, they're not hot or anything like that. They're human warmth.
And what do your friends or family make of this, Nick? And have you had much negativity or criticism about it?
No, actually. Strangely enough, some people, obviously, strange people, strangers to the house, I should say, come in and sometimes they're a little bit shocked, especially when they see Kavina, because she's so tall, she can be a bit scary, which was the idea. But normally people just say, they're a little bit fascinated by them, and it's surprising how many people come out of the woodwork about how they like sort of Lord of the Rings and elves and all that sort of thing. I've got people across the road, they're into the Lord of the Rings, and I've got people next door but one, they're into dragons, So it's surprising how it draws people out, and generally speaking, people just find them beautiful. I did take Sorcha to have her wig done one time in the city centre in Birmingham, and it was a place where ladies who have cancer have wigs, when their hair falls out. And I took her in there in a nice little black dress, and she was all done up and everything. And without fail, every single one of them wanted to see what her boobs were like.
Wow.
So...
OK.
Yeah.
So everyone's intrigued by the anatomy of these dolls and also your relationship with them, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, most people don't really ask about the relationship with them. I think a lot of people obviously make assumptions, but generally speaking, they don't ask.
So will you be having Christmas at home with all four ladies?
Yes, I will, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And have you bought them presents, Nick? Do you do things like that? Or is there Christmas outfits?
Ironically, I don't really... I like to build them stuff or whatever, but ironically this year, this Kavina's already wearing her new under costume. That'll be modified when as time goes on, and I've just bought Sorcha a new under costume as well, but it's more complete than I normally have, because I normally modify other clothing to suit for their costumes.
Yeah, amazing.
So
Nick, it's been absolutely fascinating. Thank you for giving us a little insight into life at home with you and your four elves. They are extraordinary creatures, aren't they? They really are.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I love them.
That's apparent.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick, for chatting to us this morning, and we wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, have a fab Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and you.
Our pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you on TV, Ben.
I'm right here now, Nick. Have a lovely Christmas. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. Only in America.
It's all good fun, isn't it? Joining us now, the man with the world's fastest sperm, Tristan Milker, and the guy who came second, Asher Proger. Good morning, guys. Good morning. First of all, I should say congratulations, Tristan. How does it feel to be the champion?
Thank you. I mean, I feel amazing. It's a record that nobody else has ever held before, so I'm proud to wear that on my belt. It's going to be a great thing to put on my resume.
And Asher, commiserations. Sadly, your sperm just wasn't up to it in the end.
Sadly, it was not. I think I need to do more training, take it more serious, maybe rework my approach. But
OK, so tell me something. How were you two selected to represent?
Yeah, I can start. So there was a man named Dick Gay, which is a leader of the company. He's kind of a person that was putting forward the efforts to, get everybody to this event and with marketing and everything. He came to my door and he knocked and he asked me if I wanted to be a sperm racing athlete. And I thought he was insane.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a joke, but I did a little bit more research and I talked to him a little further and found out about the rapidly declining fertility rates, not in just America, but worldwide. And I realized this is a real issue that we need to talk about. And I wanted to better myself. So I inhabited a lot of really great new habits for myself. I started eating a lot better. I started taking care of myself more. And, it worked out well for me.
So I mean, there is a very serious point behind this, but of course it makes for thoroughly entertaining viewing and hearing all about it. Asher, I mean, what was your reaction when you were approached, and how did you get into shape for the big race?
so my experience was similar. I had the same man come up. He's dressed in a suit, might I add, and he's like 6'7", which makes it even more intimidating and funny. But he came and he offered me a challenge, and it basically was, I'll just say it was a challenge, all right. And if I could complete the challenge, I was allowed to be the sperm racer because it showed I was really on fire and I wanted to be a sperm racer. So I thought it was insane, but he said he would Venmo me money right away. I did the challenge. He Venmoed me the money, and I realized it was legit. So then I joined, and I started getting in shape. In more of I started taking supplements and stuff. But other than that, I already was working out, eating clean, making sure I got to bed on time, all that. So I didn't change all that much, but I did definitely start taking supplements I hadn't before.
So what you're saying is this actually is a professional sport, because you both got paid money to donate and to take part in the race, didn't you, Tristan?
Yeah, we got money every single week in order to enhance our biometers. So that means, buying correct foods that are rich in zinc, antioxidants, going to the gym every single day. I got a dietitian by my side. I had personal trainers. This is a real professional sport. And I know it sounds very silly, especially to people that haven't heard about it. I've become a little bit desensitized to it, but it is a real thing that you can train for. The more healthy you are, the more healthy your sperm is.
And what about, can we just talk, well, two things. What was it like watching your sperm race? Because we're watching this, they've sort of AI'd it up a bit, haven't they? They've gamified what actually was happening to make it more engaging to watch. But what was that like, Asher, for you guys, watching the sperms race along that track?
Well, I'll say for me, it was very terrifying after that first one because I was like, am I about to get slimed? Like, am I about to get covered in this $2,000 racing suit I just got? But we didn't know exactly what it would look like. So it was very, we didn't know who would win, obviously. It was completely real. We don't know what it looked like. So when they came really close and then tied and his barely beat mine, that was intense, I will say. But it was basically a live rendering of the actual sperm positioning on a racetrack. And then they took that data and transmade it in through like Unity or through Unreal Engine or whatever. And that's where we see the animation.
I mean, I love the two of you eyeballing each other at the same time and the drama of it. What's the prize you win? Do you win, is it just bragging rights, essentially, or do you win a prize?
I mean, I get to brag all day long to my school, but I also won $10,000.
Wow.
$10,000?
Well, look, congratulations to the two of you. You've properly entered into the spirit of it,
Yeah.
which is hugely important, and it is a bigger subject as well. And we thoroughly enjoyed meeting you both. Best of luck for next year, Asher. Maybe if you put a bit more hard work in, your sperms might be up to it.
Hopefully, that is entirely the goal. We want to make this a sport, so we're going to have tons more races. We don't know exactly when the next one is, but I will be training hard. Hopefully they'll let me compete again. I don't know what Tristan's future holds, but his is probably bright as well.
Well, unquestionably, he's got super fast sperm. It's very bright.
Yeah.
Thank you both for joining us. We're in the studio now, joined by Britain's foremost authority on men's fertility, urologist Jonathan Ramsey. Jonathan, thank you for joining us. I mean, it's thoroughly entertaining for us to talk about, to laugh about the nature of this, but there is a really serious point to what they've done, isn't there?
Well, there is, and I think they're to be congratulated for actually doing it, because men are classically typically reluctant even to talk about their fertility, let alone to enter into a sperm race. So I think these two guys are to be congratulated, and they've brought awareness, because awareness is really the first stage of trying to correct something that may not be quite right.
And fertility rates have dropped. Why is that?
Well, they have, and there's been a huge amount of scientific argument. And like many scientific arguments, there are the protagonists and the antagonists. The more famous you are, the more likely you are to take a didactic stand. But I think we can probably all agree at this stage, after a great deal of research, that sperm counts are declining worldwide. Now, whether this actually impacts on fertility rates is a separate and consequential argument.
There are some myths about this as well. It was interesting hearing Tristan and Asha talk about the fact that they didn't really understand that there was lots of things that they could do to improve the speed and the robust nature of their sperm. But can we run through some of these myths, and you can either bust them or explain why they exist? Is that all right? OK, firstly, alcohol. If you consume more than 14 units a week spread across 3 days or more, that will affect your sperm.
I think we can say yes.
That is true.
And there is a linear relationship. So the greater the intake, the more the effect.
Men who've had children remain fertile forever.
Oh, that's certainly a myth.
Really?
I think we, the blokes, Ben and I and the boys, should start thinking that probably biologically it's not dissimilar from women.
Right.
So from our late 30s onwards, we may be becoming less fertile, because it's not only the sperm that wins the race, but the quality of that sperm.
Yep.
What happens to him when he's say won the race?
Yep.
Is he going to produce a decent embryo and offspring?
Yeah.
What about stress? Stress can ruin your sperm.
Crikey, that's a difficult one, because it's so difficult to measure stress itself, and then to relate that to a variable biological phenomenon, which is a sperm count.
Yes.
But if you ask me what I think, it would be unlikely if it didn't, because all those stressor hormones are not great.
This is an old wives' tale, but I do know plenty of friends who've actually done this.
Tried it.
You're more likely to get pregnant if you conceive with your legs in the air.
Oh, that's a wonderful one. Myth, certainly a myth. I mean, what that sperm race actually showed was that these little chaps move very quickly along a pretty short trajectory, which is in nature from the top of the vagina to meet the egg as it crosses the fallopian tube. So actually, these little chaps get on with it fast, and where your legs are won't make any difference.
Did it work for your friends?
Some did, but again, it's just probability.
It was worth trying. And one last one. Boy sperm and girl sperm swim at different speeds.
So behind that is whether you get more or less boys or girls, depending upon what you do. In nature, biologically, that doesn't seem to make any difference. You get the same number of boy babies as you get girl babies. If you do something in the lab, though, you might be able to detect a difference in how they move.
You spin it or something.
Well, the girl ones might be a bit heavier. Yeah, because the X chromosome is a bit bigger than the Y.
Right. Okay.
Of course.
I could chat to you.
I thought it was that the girls swam a lot faster, but they tired out longer, and the boys would. So it was more of a marathon for the boys, and so if the girls eventually got tired, the boys would get there to the end.
Like the Joel Dommett. Is that what you mean?
I'm not sure you just compared Joel Dommett. That's one character we haven't seen on the Marked Singer yet, isn't it?
That X chromosome, it's in control.
Always. Jonathan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan. It was lovely to chat to you.
As fun as that has been, it is a really serious subject, and I'm glad we could talk about it.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
After being diagnosed with motor neuron disease 2 years ago, Anna Barrow and her husband Martin had to figure out their new normal. Yes, as the MND Association have seen a 20% increase in demands for grants. The couple say they wouldn't have survived without that help, which has enabled Anna to record her voice on a tablet, including some fun phrases, which I can't wait to ask you about, which is just so brilliant the way that both of you are dealing with this devastating disease. The pair joined us now. It is such an honour to have you both on. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I mean, Anna, let's go back to the beginning, shall we, of how you were first diagnosed with motor neurones disease, because that must have been pretty terrifying.
Symptoms started in 2022 with weakness in my left hand, which the GP thought was nerve damage. Other symptoms started, such as being startled easily. Little things would make me jump, and I also kept tripping over. The doctor said it could be menopause, but I thought I am far too young for that.
So Anna went through a 18-month period of having some symptoms, and started in her left hand, getting a bit weaker, and then moving to the right hand, a few trips and falls, and got put on a long waiting list to see a neurology team. It was only, Anna had a little bit of an episode, spent 2 weeks in hospital. And then it was the nurse there that thought, something's not right. 2 weeks of tests, wasn't it? Being smacked with a hammer on your knees, testing your reflexes every day. And then, we were, it was the day before she went home, so the 2 weeks, we were given a diagnosis, weren't we, on the Thursday.
And Martin, for your point of view and your family's point of view, are you thinking about that new reality, or were you just, when you got that diagnosis, was there that element of shock, or had you started to prepare for it?
I don't think you can prepare for it. They always say don't Google symptoms, which we didn't really, but as it got to the end, and we didn't know, so it was an absolute shock when the consultant took us into a room and gave us a diagnosis, and we just cried for a while. It must have been a good hour. She kept on coming back in, going, and we had a conversation there and then, didn't we? And first thing we said was, what about the girls? That was our first.
You've got 3 girls.
Yeah, 3 girls.
20, 16 and 15, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're absolutely amazing, and they've been brilliant. But that was our first thought, was the girls, and initial shock, and just sort of had to restart our lives, really, didn't we? All the plans that we had, and it's just difficult being told that you've been diagnosed with something with no cure and no treatment.
I can't even imagine, Anna, and especially when they sort of, first of all, were sort of saying menopause, which feels so, every woman at some point will go through that. What a gear shift. But the way in which it just feels like you both tackle this head on, and from the sounds of it, you both were like, right, what are we going to do about this? We're going to live life now. And you had things that you wanted to do, didn't you?
Yeah. Definitely. Martin and I have been married for 18 years, and we wanted to renew our vows. I wanted to walk down the aisle. We have always wanted to take Tilly, even travelling to Disney. We went for Christmas and New Year. It was amazing, and we made memories we will cherish forever.
Oh, Disney with the kids, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was full on, wasn't it? But it was, it was something we wanted to do, and it was more of that, we say that we'd rather be, an hour early than a minute late. Yeah. So it was just kind of everything that you wanted to do is do it now. Yeah. Say yes more times than you say no, and like I say, from the moment Anna was diagnosed, even in that room, after crying for a bit, the first thing we said to each other was, we'll deal with it how we deal with everything as a family, and humour and positivity. We'll take the mick and we'll have a laugh while doing it, and, and we'll have our cries, but, it's all about choosing your mood and just making sure that you're seeing the positive in everything.
Such a testament to you that you came into that mindset so quickly. Can we bring in the MND Association and how they've helped you?
So we got introduced to the MND Association at Anna's first hospital meeting. We met Andrew, one of the volunteers, and from there I got invited to a meeting, and the help and support from them has been a lifeline. Not, the well-being, the advice that they can provide for you, but also the financial burden that comes with MND and being diagnosed with something like this. We've received probably about £5,000 worth of grants from the association, which is out with cost of living. So when the bills go up in April, we can get a grant which kind of offsets that. So it's just one less thing to worry about. And they've been absolutely amazing, haven't they? And we can always reach out to them when, no matter how small the question or how big the challenge, they're always there for supporting us.
Well, exactly, because how would any of us prepare for this? You've got to change your whole house, I presume, in the way you can move around.
Yeah, so we've gone through all of that, home adaptations, and that was the same thing, of that mentality of do it now. And so we've had our house adapted, and we had another grant from another charity who provided a grant for flooring to make it all accessible.
Yeah.
So the Ed Slater charity, which was absolutely brilliant for us. But yeah, we've done everything, and we've just tried to get everything right for you, haven't we?
And that grant, one of those grants, helped bank Anna's voice.
Yeah, so they provided hundreds of people across the UK with the ability to bank your voice, and for that, I'm forever grateful for that. That gives Anna the opportunity to still follow me around and tell me that I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, to bank. For someone to be able to bank the voice is...
And how does that work, like, practically?
So, yeah, it's quite simple, a piece of equipment. Anna recorded a voice on a laptop. She had to say 50 phrases, which then created Anna's voice, but then she also got the ability to record 300 of her favourite phrases to make it more unique, to keep, it more personal. So names... sayings, in-jokes within the family, that northern humour. So, yeah, it's a really straightforward process, but the process was actually really difficult emotionally.
Yeah, Anna, did you find it emotional recording those?
I found it an emotional process. I had to stop and start because it was upsetting. Knowing the reason why I was doing this was because I might not be able to say these things in the future. So, like, names and sentimental phrases were the most challenging to record. I didn't want to think about losing the last bit of me.
Bless your heart, because I suppose I understand in the way that you've got to record them while you still can say all those phrases, because you start to lose that ability, which obviously you're still doing very well with today. And, you're an incredible woman. And what I love about you so much, and when I heard about this, I said, I can't wait to meet her. You've recorded some cracking phrases that you can fire up at any point. Talk me through some of your favourites.
I have a few. I say to Tilly, even Fallon every day, crack on. If they need a bit of encouragement, slay queen.
Slay queen!
If they have done something fabulous, or they look good, or just because. But my absolute favourite is, grab me a Prosecco.
There we go.
Oh, a girl after my own heart. Grab me a Prosecco.
Echo through the ages, don't worry.
That's
so
fantastic.
Wonderful.
So good. I presume, Martin, some of these phrases are directly at you.
Yeah, so the ones probably more so around... I've missed a bit, that's probably the biggest one. Have I done my chores? And then you've missed a bit actually follows that.
How many of the 50 were made up of the ones that basically...
49, probably. No, so, yeah, it was it's good. It's a massive thing for all of our family, our close family. In terms of the voice banking, Anna uses it quite regular, but not so much at home, because I don't know whether we understand Anna or we just know what she's going to say. So that...
My face. Yeah. Face says a lot, doesn't it, sometimes? One look can say enough.
More so with people outside and people that she's not met, she's having to use that. But Anna does that more to help others, for them to understand her, so she is understood as well.
I mean, you're both phenomenal. I honestly mean that. And I think you coming on the show like this today, you're just going to inspire so many people, because you're brave and you're attacking something that's so scary. And you're going, let's just live. And you've got loads of things you want to get done, don't you? You've got loads of things and you want to just live life to the fullest.
Holidays are a little tricky now with the accessibility and financial barriers. But I have learned that there is no place like home, surrounded by the people I love most, my family and friends, relaxing in the garden with a glass of Prosecco.
goes again.
Now I spend my time raising awareness for MND and the amazing community. Martin and I are doing what we can to spread positivity in what can feel like a hopeless situation.
I tell you what, I admire anyone who makes something like this less scary for others, and that is what you have done today.
Yeah,
because these things are terrifying, and you've just made it human and made it normal.
Oh, hi.
And that's so important because any diagnosis like this that's terminal is frightening.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
No, thank you very much for having us.
Really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Throughout this year's Olympics, we've seen many incredible athletes bring home medals for our team GB. But our next guests didn't just win medals for our country, they did it all with very young children.
Yeah, major cuteness alert at home, OK? Because this is going to be so lovely. Matilda Hodgkins-Byrne won a bronze medal in the sculls, whilst her 2-year-old son Freddie cheered her on from the side of the boating lake. And Amber Rutter gave birth to her beautiful baby Tommy just 3 months ago, which is incredible. She brought home silver. Should have been a goal, Jose.
Well, there's a bit of controversy about that,
there should be VAR in shooting. The Olympic champions join us in the studio now. Good morning, both. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here.
And you've both got your medals. You've looked at you. Hello, how are you? Oh,
oh no.
Normally kids really like me.
He'll go from very shy to running around and polling everything in a minute.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, do you know what? Super mums spring to mind. One, how do you both look like you do? And two, how were you bringing home medals with such young children? Absolutely incredible stuff. I remember when I had mine this age, I couldn't even hardly leave the house. How did you do it all, Matilda?
For me, I think it was all I knew to carry on rowing. I was able to train throughout my pregnancy and then pick it up again after. And I had, in my first year, I had a mix of training at home and training at the training centre, and then Freddie went to a childminder and I joined back full time. So he's been part of the journey this Olympiad.
It's interesting, Amber, isn't it? Because a lot of the other countries had kind of already accepted that a lot of the female competitors would want their babies with them. They've had creches. This is the first time there's a creche in the Olympic Village, right, for GB athletes.
I just think, that's just such a talking point for the whole of the Olympics, to really, encourage mums that your life doesn't stop just because you have kids, and you can still go to the Olympic Games, and it's just making it so much more accessible. So even though I was, 3.5 hours away from this creche and didn't even know that Tommy was going to come along, my husband completely surprised me. I just think it's such an inspirational movement that the Olympics are really encouraging women to stay in sport and still compete.
It's actually incredible, you know, and you two have brought it home. Now, Matilda, I know you went to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and you had a little bit of a taste for it there. And then after you had Freddie, were things different for you then? Did you feel that you needed to go back to prove it to your little one? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I wanted to end it on my terms, and I didn't want it that just because I'd had a baby, that was the end of my career. And I'm really glad I did, coming off from the water and then seeing him in the grandstand, and he was actually lowered down to me. And then being part of it, it just completes the picture.
A lot of people, Tom Daly said, he went back for his children, and it feels like you went back for Freddie as well.
Yeah, I think so. For me, it's my job. So, and all my friends have gone back having had their children. So I'm just going back to do my job.
And thank God you did go back.
You've had Helen Glover there, because Helen Glover has, one of our greatest Olympians, and she's 3 kids, and she's managed it, But, it would have been tougher for her 4 years ago as well, because we were seen as this amazing thing. We need to make this a normal thing, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think UK sport bringing in a maternity policy was, very, very pivotal in this. Before, it wasn't something we considered that it would be possible to carry on being pregnant and stay funded. And I was part of a WhatsApp group, and there's about 15 of us on it, and we've all been able to benefit from it, which has been so important to us.
Amber, I was screaming at my television. I came in so annoyed after this, OK? Because in the final of the shooting, I saw that you hit the clay. OK? Now, ordinarily in sport, you'll go to VAR, like in football, and they could have reviewed the video and you would have been back in the medal scrap. But they wouldn't do it.
I know.
Oh, my word.
It was a really tough one to take, but that's sport for you, and it happens so often. And I know it wasn't just me that was affected in that final. Some of the other girls as well, that they were convinced that they hit shots, but there was just no VAR system to look back on, which is actually quite surprising, really, because I know a lot of the other sports had it And then it's something we have also had in place in our sport for the last, I think it's been for the last 4 years. So I'm not quite sure whether they forgot it this time, but it is one of those things. And like with all the disappointment I had over catching COVID the night before I went to Tokyo, I was like, I cannot let another thing take away from this moment. Like, I just really want to celebrate my performance, and it's something that has really been a team effort.
we saw Noah Lyles last night. He didn't get the gold medal in the 200 metres because he found out he had COVID the night before the race. And I mean, my word, I mean, you can plan for so much over 4 years, but then these things come along and just tear it all apart, can't they?
Oh, yeah. Like, when we got back from our training camp, suddenly COVID was a thing again. I think we were in Italy, we were kind of a bubble safe from it. And to be going to another Olympics and then this was a thing again, we were all masked up and having to, like, stay away from people. And I think it was just something I hadn't considered, that the next Olympics would also have COVID coming back.
Can I ask you, but hello.
Oh, dear.
Hello, coffee there.
Oh, dear.
How old is Tommy now, then?
So Tommy is about 3.5 months now. So...
How did you fit it all in, Amber? How did you fit in your training as well as a 3.5-month-old?
I'm not going to lie, it's been tiring, and I have to always thank my mum and dad and my husband James. Like, this has been like a real team effort to even like mentally just like think, because there's been some really tough moments where I felt like proper mum guilt over leaving him with my mum, like going back to training, and then still like having to put in a good performance. And it has just been the craziest few months, but it is a massive thanks to the team around me as well, and British Shooting, UK Sport. There's like so many aspects to it that have really made it possible to even make this comeback.
You've been ordered to get Daddy. Daddy, you can bring in the toy. Bring in the toy, Daddy. Bring in the toy. Daddy's coming in with the. Daddy's coming in now.
Look. Wow.
That's your toy. That's the Olympic mascot.
Oh, look
well
at
done,
his
Daddy.
little mascot.
Well done.
Amber, we know that mum guilt, it is real. Mum guilt is real, but you've brought it home. You've done this for yourself. I mean, you must be so proud.
It's one of those things that when you have kids, your whole perspective on life just changes, and it's that.
Daddy, will you listen to the child and sit down? Freddie, say sit down. Thank you.
It's one of those things that like your whole perspective on life just changes, and like just to turn around, and my husband completely surprised me in that final where I had no idea that he was going to be there, and to see Tommy in that moment, it just makes the whole Olympic experience and everything that I've done over these last few months just feel really, really worth it. So, yeah, it's all for him, really.
Matilda, can you give us an idea, particularly your event? I know the excruciating pain you go through whilst training and racing. I mean, rowing is really a physically brutal sport. What's it like as you cross that line and you know you've made a podium? What's that feeling?
Just relief. We were so relieved. We knew going into it we were considerably faster than everyone thought we were. But you knowing... Thank you. You knowing what you're capable of versus the rest of the world, and then actually being able to deliver it. The Olympics results aren't always what you expect them to be. So going over the finish line and then knowing we've got a medal when we definitely weren't expected to, yeah, we were just so relieved, and that is so surreal.
There was a story in today's papers about the medals, and I think, was it a skateboarder saying his medal had gone a little bit funny because he wore it and he thought the sweat had affected it and there's a bit of deterioration, but actually
mine has
it's happened on yours as well. Yeah. So this was all, when we saw you get this on the podium, it was all beautiful and shiny. Can I hold it? Will I hold that too? So can you see, it's kind of a little bit... And that's not from... You haven't dropped it or anything. You see it all... So what's happened there? Has that happened to yours as well?
Mine has happened, the exact same thing. And I was, like, blaming Tommy at one point. I was like, maybe from him chewing on it or something. It's damaged it. I was like, what on earth has happened? But mine has done the exact same thing where it's just got, like, marks all over it. And whether it was just handing it around, but the fact that now it's came out, like, I think all the other athletes were sort of thinking it, but were like, I don't know whether to say something about it. But yeah. Oh, it's fine.
There we go. Down the floor.
I think this is everything I've got to come, I think. So, but yeah, mine's done the exact same thing. So I'm not sure where it's come from, but the cool thing about it is it does have a piece of the Eiffel Tower, which at first I was like, It's a bit scratched up, but to find out it was a piece of the Eiffel Tower is so cool.
Well, Freddie, I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning. And you, Tommy, what a beautiful baby you've got. And ladies, thank you for bringing it home. Congratulations.
Well
wow.
done. Daddy, sit down.
Super mums there, super
Thank
mums.
you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
They're the former anti-corruption police officers who in 2015 left their jobs to spend more time with their families.
But Emma Coles and Sam Hutchison quickly found that they missed the adrenaline rush of their former jobs.
And after setting up their own detective agency to catch out cheating partners 5 years ago, the spy mums are in high demand and they join us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, spy mums, you didn't really like that title first of all, but now you kind of like it, right?
We've come to love it, yes.
OK.
We were on the show before and
a couple of years back.
We advertised in the paper as well. And the title was Spy Mums. And at the time, we were like, oh, it's a little bit cringy because obviously we run a professional company and it kind of made it into a little bit of a joke. So we weren't keen at first, but we have come to love it now.
Yeah, you deliver the results. I mean,
yeah.
And it's true. Yeah, it's not frivolous. So how did you set up the agency?
So we both did many, many years in the police and we worked in covert roles. So we really loved the undercover stuff, sneaking around, following people, spying on people in the police. We ended in the anti-corruption intelligence unit. So we were basically investigating secretly corrupt police officers. And because we weren't well known to anybody in the police, we became really, really close. There were only a few of us in the office. So we became really good friends then, both got pregnant at the same time, had our babies within a few months of each other. And then they started going to school and we were kind of thinking, oh,
that is
what
awful,
do we do
that
now?
stage of being like, not knowing what to do anymore, like, you know, and not having that adrenaline rush that we'd been used to for so many years. And we thought, well, how can we home our skills in? All the stuff we've learned, all the covert tactics, everything we'd learned over the years, and our dealings with the members of the public, and thought, you know, we can do a good job here. And
So
it was developed.
So, Sam, you started off sort of setting up the agency and then offering... What sort of services do you offer and how much would it cost to have you guys investigate somebody or something for a client?
Well, we do a range of services. We deal with infidelity on quite a large scale. We also deal with catfishing, a lot of fraud cases and scamming. I mean, we've got one particular one at the moment, which is really quite scary, because we used to say to people, like, know who you're talking to, you know, and they've entered into a relationship and they've invested emotionally. And we used to say, well, have a video chat with the person, so at least you know you can see a face at the end of the call and you know you're talking to a real human being and not somebody else. But this has progressed now and we're dealing with a client now who has had that video call with the person, but it's not a person, it's a bot. And it's AI
So
has been
AI
used.
is now making things even harder.
And he's had a conversation and believed that conversation with that person. That person has stolen the identity of somebody else completely who had no knowledge of this and has been talking to him now as a bot, effectively, in that AI world, and it's so scary.
So you realise how vulnerable lots of older people are, or people that sort of, you know, are looking for sort of company, whatever that might be. But in order to do that, what would I have to pay if I had somebody that I wanted you to go and investigate?
Well, our prices range, don't they, Em?
Yeah, so for surveillance, for instance, if you suspected that your partner was cheating, it could be anything from, say, £250 for a really simple case. We've had some clients paying like £20,000, depending on the level of information they need and the resources that we need to actually find out the information. I mean, it might be that somebody only cheats once a month. And obviously, if we're going to follow them, it might take a month to actually catch them. Or they might do it on the first day.
We prepare a bespoke package for every individual, and every individual is so different. And every case that we get presented with is so different.
Yeah.
So you can't give like just a general price because it varies so much, like Emma said.
Yeah. And it's not just relationships that you investigate either. There's lots of other different cases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've found more recently that people aren't getting the service they deserve from the police.
Right.
And if people have got the money to pay for it privately, they're coming to us because they've had no luck having their case solved.
Yeah.
So they come to us and we basically do the job of the police.
It's like high-value motor cars.
Yeah.
We've had high net worth clients who've had really high-value motor cars stolen, and we are the ones that go and find them because, with all due respect to the police, they don't have the resources.
Sure.
Yeah.
Burglaries, they come to us. We gather the CCTV. We gather all the evidence that the police haven't got time to do, and then we package it all up and we can take it along to the authorities as a complete package.
Mate, now you have celebrity clients, you've had some royal clients as well. I know you can't talk about individual cases, but are they sort of looking at you to investigate similar sorts of things?
Similar, yeah. High-profile people have kind of a different level of information that they need and protection as well. So we've had cases where we've had to look after an individual by doing surveillance on somebody who's suspected of being a stalker, for instance, so that we can protect them.
A lot of that is really scary. If you're somebody who has a stalker and you see that person, that's really frightening, and we can really help people with that by drawing a line, a boundary, and making sure, for example, the person stalking them doesn't cross that boundary and that they can carry on with their life to a degree in safety.
Yeah.
And how undercover do you have to go? Do you have to kind of change outfits and wear disguises and...
So in the early days, we did a lot of the surveillance ourselves.
Right.
Obviously, now we're on TV and we're showing our faces, so we can't do that. We have some really good operatives who work for us. But yeah, in the early days, it was quite interesting, actually. Sam had a really good job where she was a different person throughout the whole day.
7 outfit changes.
No,
that's more than even I did.
In the car, in the toilet, and the train. It was, it was quite a day. But I made my appearance change that many times in the day, not to be noticed following somebody. But like Emma says, we're the face of the business now.
Yes.
We're trying to bring a more softer approach. I mean, our clients, you say, look at how our clientele have changed over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
We have a lot of male and female clients, but a lot of males come to us now because although there's other investigation agencies out there that are guys and they run perfectly well and they're great guys, but they sometimes feel easier opening up to a woman. Just to have those chats, they find it really difficult to open up to a man like that.
Yeah, we have people on the phone in tears to us, and I don't think they would do that if a man was answering the phone.
Definitely
it's just
not
different.
as easily.
One of the things we're quite excited about, though, is that there's going to be a TV drama of some sort based around what it is that the two of you have done.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So a few years ago, we were contacted by a big film production company because they'd seen what we're doing. So, yeah, that's all in progress at the moment. We're sitting down with the writers and that's all being made. It's going to be a fictional drama.
So the question is, who'd play you?
What do you think?
I really want... I was going to say Hannah Waddington, but actually Kat Delia, I think, would be...
She don't come cheek, She don't come cheek.
So, Kat, for you...
I'd have Michelle Keegan.
Michelle Keegan.
And
Michelle and Kat would be great, wouldn't they?
Put me in a contract.
Also, Ben, talking about AI, and there's a lot of AI, I saw you in Men's Health magazine.
Yes.
I think there's a bit of AI going on there.
That was Model's Own. That's all. And I'd be very happy for you to investigate as well, Sam.
We'll see you after.
Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Glad everything's going so well, and I'm sure we'll have you back when the drama's on as well.
Definitely.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning. And Ocean joins us now live from New York. Good morning, Ocean. Lovely to talk to you this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
The documentary is absolutely wonderful. It's truly, truly fascinating. Where did your love for sharks come from? When did you... Where was your inspiration from?
Yeah, thank you so much. It really probably came from my parents. My parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents, I come from a long line of water people. And so they clearly love the ocean, hence my name. And so I was lucky to grow up and actually get to see what sharks are really like, to see them in their natural environment before ever seeing them on a Hollywood fictitious film screen, like films like Jaws. So I think that that helped a lot for being able to distinguish between what is the reality and what is, the sensationalistic view that they're often portrayed as.
What do you remember, Ocean, what your first encounter with the shark was like and how old you were?
I think I was around 7 or 8. I remember being not that far from shore and having a beautiful shark swim from underneath me along the sand. I was probably only in about 3 meters of water, and it felt like time just stopped. And as it passed underneath me, I had that moment where I thought, should I follow after it to learn more, or should I go in because I don't know that much? And I'm forever grateful to my younger self for taking that pause, that moment, and that intrigue. And I slowly followed after it, observing its behavior. And I like to kind of joke, I've now followed them around the world because I've been able to dive with more than 30 species around the world and work with them. And it's incredible to get to know them on a deeper level, to be able to spend so much time in the water with them, because there's so much more to them than what the general public sees.
Yeah. Were you scared, though? Because even at 7 or 8, a big creature, whether it's a shark or not, swimming underneath you can be very intimidating.
I think I had a natural hesitation, and I think that people, it's good that they have a natural hesitation about things that they don't understand, which is why I gave it some distance and followed from a distance. But I really think that maybe due to other experiences with marine life, and given my water background and my proximity to shore, I think that there's a lot of personal factors that went into that. And that's something that I do with my work, is trying to help people to overcome that disproportionate level of fear they have that keeps them out of the ocean and not caring about sharks, and replacing it with a high, healthy level of respect. And that comes through understanding of their important ecological role, their capabilities, and how to actually swim with them as safely as possible. Because some people would just say, oh, just stay out of the water, stay out of the ocean. But it's that disconnect that I feel that often leads to apathy, and that feeling or lack of feeling of connection is unfortunately very prevalent. And I think it's exacerbated because of films like Jaws.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, actually, what do you think of that movie, and how do you think it
50 years old this year.
Yeah, it affects people's perceptions of these amazing animals?
Yeah, I just think that it's unfortunate that sometimes that's people's first experience with it. And it's so far away from reality. It's a Hollywood kind of got wrong, was not just the portrayal, but it really sort of planted a seed in people's imagination where they didn't have a lot of information. But what we have now is social media, and we have drones. And so now people can start to see the reality that, yes, sharks are there. And that common misperception that people have there, they think if a shark in the vicinity that it's gonna come up and eat them. The reality is they swim past surfers, swimmers, and divers all day, every day. And it is so rare that they make a mistaken identity bite or a territorial bite or a bite out of the brink of starvation. I'm living proof for that as well. I swim with them every single day. But yeah, I'm so grateful for drone footage now, essentially showcasing that to people.
Ocean, you have faced and do face quite a lot of criticism as well from people who suggest that the way you interact with the sharks isn't what we should be doing. If you go into the sea, you can look but don't touch. We could see some of the footage from the documentary, but also some of your Instagram footage. There's you touching a shark that you know clearly very well, and you're playing with its nose, and you're rubbing the underside of its body as well. What do you say to those critics?
Well, there's a couple things. For one, I am a professional. I grew up doing this. So I'm not trying to encourage people to replicate what I'm doing. I have a 6.5-minute breath hold, and Obviously, I spend my entire life focused on this, but I do that so that I can teach people what to do in emergency situation. I want to help people coexist, because if they're just afraid of sharks and they don't know what to do, either they're going to encourage a bad interaction if they're approached and they panic and they splash and thrash like an injured animal and swim away. And also on the regards of touching, sometimes it's like, it's necessary in those situations when you get that less than 1% of the chance where you have an inquisitive or curious individual who comes up. And even then, most of the time, they're still going to turn away. But for people who are critical about me touching sharks, I just wish that they would redirect that attention towards the touching of sharks that actually harms sharks. So shark finning kills over 100 million sharks every single year, as well as bycatch in the industrial seafood fishing vessels. And then we've got culling going on in Australia and South Africa. Shark fishing is still prevalent over in the United States. And some deep sea sharks are even getting fished out just for their liver oil for cosmetics, pharmaceuticals. And many sharks are killed just for their jaws and teeth for the souvenir trade. So if you really, truly actually care about sharks or care about wildlife being touched, please help save some of those sharks. Don't criticize me for putting my soft little human hand just pushing the shark away gently, which doesn't harm the shark.
Ocean, can we talk about your technique a little bit? Because you talk about it in the documentary and you almost compare the sharks to horses and how they feel kind of electrical impulses. And in the documentary, you go from making yourself small to kind of making yourself big and then kind of redirecting the sharks by pushing on their nose and pushing them away. How did you create this technique? And were you not terrified the first time you did it?
So growing up with horses certainly helped me, because you have to be able to leverage off of them to maintain space so that your feet don't get stepped on, so you don't get kicked, so you don't get knocked by their head. And so it's natural with working with horses to maintain physical contact that also allows them to sense sort of your tension. And so I know that maybe only horse people totally understand that, but for those people who have dogs or cats, I think that maybe they can understand that when you walk into a room with your pet, that they can pick up on tension, stress, intention, and that if an animal were to run at you, and this is including human animals, that you might need to maintain space. So putting a hand on top of their head or snout, locking out the elbow to be able to leverage or maintain space is just a safety technique. And so I share that online, not as a showy type thing, but as an emergency procedure, because I'd rather people know what to do if a large, curious shark swam up to them, rather than what I think the human instinct would be to panic, splash and thrash like an injured animal, which is just sort of going to provoke that predatory response. So it's kind of like teaching kids in school, if they were to catch their shirt on fire, you don't just run around, you stop, drop, and roll. And so if you're approached by a large shark, you don't splash and thrash and panic and turn your back and swim away, encouraging it to chase you. You look at it, you face it, you extend your fins towards it, if you have fins on, or any inanimate object, surfboard, camera, whatever it is. And if anything, move at it. And yeah, if it comes up that close enough to touch, at the last minute, putting your hand on top of the head, closing out the mouth, locking the elbow, and moving off to the side. Now, I understand that these safety techniques, I've obviously trained a lot of people to do this. I've got a team of marine biologists that work with me in Hawaii at One Ocean Diving. We guide people in the water all day, every day. We wouldn't be able to do so responsibly if I didn't teach those people how to do this for that 1% of the time that they get that curious. But I'd still rather people have this information for safety purposes, because my ultimate goal, trying to get people to coexist with sharks, it means that I need to help them to actually coexist. Otherwise, they don't care if sharks exist, if they just think that they're monsters and they don't know what to do, or they don't know much about them and they don't understand them. We generally don't protect that which we do not understand. So I'm just trying to help people understand sharks on a deeper level.
You do a great job
of it. The
of
documentary goes a long way to certainly illustrating that they aren't monsters. Hopefully I'll never be in the situation where I have to employ the technique, Ocean, but I know what I need to do if I do get a shark coming towards me. Thank you for joining us. It's very early in the morning over there. but it's been lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ocean. And The Shark Whisperer is on Netflix
Oh, hello.
now.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
But we're starting today by meeting a real-life superhero, aren't we?
After contracting meningitis when she was just 15 months old, Tilly Lockie's hands were amputated to save her life. But through state-of-the-art bionic arms, she's been able to live a life to the fullest.
Tilly is now 19 years old and yesterday became the first person to get the most advanced wireless hands in the world, which are incredibly controlled by her mind.
Tilly joins us now alongside robotics engineer and all-round clever clogs who helped design her hands, Joel Gibbert. Welcome, both of you.
Yeah, welcome.
Tilly, I haven't seen you for ages. You came on the show a few years ago, didn't you?
2020, I think you were.
Yeah, a couple of times. My first time with you guys, though. So
yeah, nice to meet you.
be chilling with you.
It's nice to have you back, Tilly. Let's start at the beginning for people who don't know the story. You were just 15 months when you contracted meningitis.
Yeah.
It came at a cost. You lost both of your hands at the time. And the thing is, with something like this, it's such a big thing. Do you even remember a point when you felt different from anyone else?
Yeah, like, it's completely life-altering, body-altering operation, obviously, and luckily I was so young at the time, so I don't remember it. I've kind of, like, had no hands my entire life, you know? So it's just something that I've always known myself to be like. And growing up, yeah, there's definitely some challenges, like, you're adapting to a world that is designed for 4 limbs at the end of the day, and something that has been a journey has been prosthetics, and through my own experience I've been able to see like that evolution firsthand, you know, so that's been really, really cool.
I think that's the most fascinating thing, is how many iterations this has had for you. So, I mean, when you started, what were your bionic arms like? What were you using?
Well, my first prosthetic I ever got, I was 2 years old, and I was like pretty much fresh out the bandages, and that wasn't technological at all. It was basically like a tube to put your arm in. There were like these 3 prongs tied together by elastic bands, and the way it operated was with this hook on the thumb, which would attach to a harness, and then the way I'd move like my upper body would pull on strings and make it move. But obviously, 2 years old, got barely any bodily coordination anyway, so it was a bit of a nightmare. And now you see them and they're like 3D printed, muscle operated, and yeah, it's been wild.
And when you're little, all of that, your gross motor skills, your fine motor skills have to be developed with that in mind as well, I think.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was like more, I wasn't just adopting it as my hand. Like, I just didn't really know what was even going on at that point. So it's been a journey.
Yeah. It's been a journey. Now, obviously, you're here to show off your new bionic arms.
Yes.
I've been watching you on Instagram, actually. It's so interesting. So tell me about these arms that you've got at the moment.
So these are the brand new Hero Pro. We had the Hero Arm, and this is Hero Arm next level upgrade. So they're pretty cool. They're still like 3D printed, muscle operated, but we've got all this extra capabilities now, which is really, really cool.
And Joel, you actually designed these. What got you into bionics?
Well, probably playing with Lego as a child. What got me really interested in technology. That evolved into electronics and robotics. And then I wanted to do something that would have a positive social impact with technology. So got really into bionic hands and prosthetics.
What's it like as an industry to get into? I mean, presumably there's a lot of qualifications you need before you even start, but it must be so innovative and so exciting. And looking at Tilly's journey, has come on so much in the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, well, yes, it's come on enormously. One of the reasons that inspired me to get into it was because technology wasn't really moving forward from the sense of what people were actually getting for prosthetic limbs. There's lots of research taking place, lots of really exciting things, but they weren't really making it to market.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the key things, was like, could we take this really cool technology but actually make it accessible to the NHS, make it so that everybody's actually getting it.
Brilliant. So when did you meet Tilly then? Tell us about that story of meeting Tilly.
It was probably like, you were about 9, 10 years old, I think, at that time. So we wanted to work with users of prosthetics very much from day one.
Yeah.
So we were putting out calls on social media to say, does anybody want to help us test the new designs, prototypes that we're making? And was it you or your mum got in touch with us? I think it was your mum got in touch with us initially. And we were like, yes, that would be great. We want you to help. And even from 9, 10 years old, Tilly was giving us fantastic ideas for how to design the arms.
Tilly, what's extraordinary was before we came on air, you said you're still getting used to these. And you sort of don't know your own strength.
Yeah, I mean, they're twice as fast, twice as strong. So, you know, it's definitely something to get used to, but I mean, even better, you know.
Yeah.
I get to be bigger and stronger now.
So can you demonstrate a few of the things that you can do? Can you pick up that glass there?
Yeah, so they're all muscle operated. I can just control it like that, can do anything I want to do.
And are you doing that with your mind? You're just thinking...
I mean, everything ultimately comes from the brain, but what's really great about these is it's just these 2 muscle sensors. So it's only squeeze to close, flex to open, cycling through grip modes, and even that becomes second nature after a while.
Joel, what's the mechanics of that? Like, so how does that work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So if basically most of the muscles that will move your hand and fingers, so there's like 24 movements in your hand and wrist.
Yes.
But all the muscles that are controlling them, nearly all of them, are actually in your forearm. And they connect to tendons that connect to your fingers. So even for somebody that doesn't have human hands, they've still got most of the muscles.
Yeah.
So the things that Tilly's thinking about to make those muscles move would be the things that we're thinking about to do those movements with our hands. So it's kind of intuitive. I don't know whether you feel that it's intuitive. It's intuitive for somebody that lost a hand when maybe they had previously used one. For you, you're saying you can't really remember, so...
Yeah, it's odd. Like, I wish I had the other hand so I could compare.
Yeah.
I'm like, I genuinely don't even know, but it works.
And is it a constant fine-tuning? Because you were saying that they're quite strong, they're very strong. Did you have to fine-tune? Would she have smashed that glass in the past?
She wouldn't quite be able to smash the glass, but so the hand detects the amount of pressure and... So it will kind of automatically stop applying pressure when it grabs an object, but then Tilly's able to give it another signal to increase the pressure if she wants to. So the idea would be you could, for example, grab something like an egg and then smash it and crush it on demand.
The egg would be done for you.
So could you operate that arm when it's not attached to you?
Yes. So that's the thing, and we've posted about it on social media, and that's what everybody is like, this is crazy, mind-blowing.
Oh, we've got to see this.
Yes. We have...
I'll just help Tilly.
Completely wireless, so you can actually just detach the hand like that.
And you're thinking about it.
And I can still operate it the same way as if it was attached. Make it move.
That is incredible.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I can do little tasks for me when I can't be bothered.
Have you ever had any mishaps where you've left it somewhere?
Well, I am sure that I will be, like, something like that will happen. I haven't had them long enough to make a mess of it yet, but, yeah.
Also, the practical jokes and wind-ups you can use that for.
Oh, yeah. So much.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Joel, what's the future for this? Like, obviously, it must be hugely expensive, the research and development and the manufacture. So, are we going to... will there be a time where this can be available on the NHS? Or...
This is available on the NHS now, yes. Yeah, so these have been developed with a lot of feedback from NHS prosthetists, specifically designed to make sure they are available through the NHS.
And can you change the colours and things like that?
You can, yeah. So there are covers you can put on the outside of the arms. You can have different designs and colours.
I mean, this has been life-changing, especially for your music as well, Tilly. It's really been life-changing for that, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it just gives me the opportunity to... It's just things people take for granted, like being able to hold a microphone and, like, express with the other hand, even to be able to, like, shake someone's hand or, like, throw a peace sign, you know? It's the little things like that. But, yeah, if I didn't have them, I would just be, like, stood behind, like, a mic stand probably, but it just allows me to, like, prance around and be crazy on
So the
stage.
company, your company's Open Bionics, and Tilly, you're working with Open Bionics now.
Yeah.
So what a great poster girl to have, right?
Couldn't think of anyone better.
No.
She's fantastic.
Tilly, if people are watching this at home and they're the start of a similar journey that you were when you were 3 years old, and the parents are watching and they're in the depths of despair at the moment, what message would you like to give to them?
I would just tell them, I mean, it's all about raising awareness and making sure people know what's actually out there. Like, so many people, I've been posting about it for years, and so many people see these and they're like, I feel like I've missed, like, 10 years. Like, when did this happen, you know? So it's just getting it out there and making sure people know that they're on the NHS as well. Because sometimes people will see them and be like, oh, well, it's a pipe dream for me, I can't afford it, do you know what I mean? But there is all this support now, so if it is something you want to get started in doing, like, you can, and there's options available. And I would also say be open. The best thing about Open Bionics is they're so open to feedback, and it's through people, like, using it, like, and going about their day-to-day lives. They're the ones who can give feedback and make them ultimately better, and that's what I do.
And in a wider context as well, like, the fact that people at home who might be going through a similar thing can see a 19-year-old that's young, vibrant, that's, you know, that's got the rest of her life ahead of her. Exactly, yeah. It's brilliant.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Joel.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. Before all that, our next guests have made headlines for their very hands-on role in the controversial new series Virgin Island.
As professional sex surrogates, Kat Slade and Andre Lazarus have been tasked with helping the show's participants overcome their intimacy issues.
But what sets them apart is just how far they're willing to go, which can include sleeping with their clients.
They're both joining us to reveal what really goes on behind closed doors. Good morning to you.
Thank you both so much for coming in.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
It's so interesting because when you first start watching the show, you kind of watch it a little bit like that, behind your fingers. And what's so interesting is how you see all of the people on there just grow and flourish. What's been your feeling of the reaction of the show?
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch and to see all of that back. I think it can be hard to watch like intimacy and to see intimacy. But being able to see the progression of everybody is so amazing.
We had two of them come on the show, and it was really wonderful to see how they've grown and the difference that it has made clearly going on to the island. Andre, just explain a little bit what a sex surrogate is, what's involved in your jobs and your professions.
So surrogate partners or surrogate partner therapy is where we, as the surrogates, work with clients and also a licensed clinician therapist. And we work on varying intimacy issues, the education, and then by the end of it, the idea is that we're all working in tandem towards an end goal.
And you know, but what we see in the series so far and what we've seen and your experience with the virgins that come on the show is you are there essentially as a catalyst for them to be able to explore physicality in a way that is safe and sort of conducive to them learning about what it is that they can do and how they can do it. Is that right?
Absolutely. So it's about consent. It's all about choice, making sure we're creating a safe container. But really, it's about them learning about themselves. And then when they're ready, whenever that might be, to go into a relationship, now they have education behind that.
And how, Kat, how did you get into this? Because it's not a typical job that, you know, people would necessarily talk about.
They don't necessarily have it down the job centre,
no.
do they, Kat?
Yeah, I mean, my background is in dance, and particularly like somatic dance and improvisational dance. And I found that those spaces had a lot of emphasis on like touch and sort of contained relationship. And I sort of was trying to find a way to incorporate therapy, but couldn't find the right thing. And then as soon as I found out this was a job, I was like, oh, that's my job. That's what I want to do.
My degree was in dance, and so I spent 3 years dancing with a lot, and it is a very physical, intimate form of art, isn't it, actually? And I can totally understand why, if that's something you've learned and you've loved, why you would want to be able to do that. And you can share, because the point is you're sharing your body with other people.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot, like, it's a very creative field, which I think people don't really think about it as, like, that way.
What do you mean by that?
Like, when you're working with somebody and you're in a session, we have a general toolbox, but sometimes you just have to kind of like see where they're at and see what they're feeling and come up with an exercise on the spot that will help them move through it. And I feel like there's a lot of similarities.
So, Andre, Kat came from a very artistic background. Yours was very different, and you've come through a very different route to where you were. What was your background?
Yeah, I already had varying years of intimacy work that I was doing, coaching people through relationship challenges and other intimacy experiences. And then when I found out about surrogate partner therapy, I was really excited because I believe that working with the body is just as important with working the mind. And this is an avenue in order to do that. So, yeah, I was really excited to actually dive in.
Yeah, it's hard for people on the outside sometimes looking in because so often intimacy involves emotion too. And it's an attraction. And
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes. So how do you differentiate and how do you keep things separate? Or do you, actually?
No, differentiate like emotions and the physical side of things. We don't try to keep them separate.
Right.
We really want all of that to be a part of the process. I mean, it wouldn't really help people to just learn the physical without, you know, actually being in it emotionally.
Yeah.
So we welcome all of it.
But Andre, isn't that exceptionally hard, though, to be able to do that? Like, as a human being, it must be really difficult to be able to do that.
I don't find it to be difficult for myself, but I definitely understand how it could be difficult. And that's what we do with these clients, is to show them that it's okay if there's challenges along the way, that we're all learning as we go. I learn as much from my clients as they learn from me. But sometimes we're not given these tools in school, or our upbringings don't really give us enough guidance how to do it. It's just like expected, you should know. So really, for what I find is that the more that we can actually form attachments with our clients, then the more they're prepared for the real world.
But to Kat's point, intimacy does involve attraction, right? It has to. Physically, there has to be something that happens to a man if it's going to go further as well. How do you manage that, Andre, if you've got a client that perhaps you aren't sexually attracted to, but wants to take that further?
Physically, I would say that as a man, like, we don't have to have all of our body parts working in order to form intimate connection, or in order to have physical intimacy be something that feels good in our body. That's a common misconception, that we're supposed to have that. And really what we can do is tune into our body and say, I'm enjoying touch, I'm enjoying hugging, I'm enjoying kissing, and that can be an intimate moment. And then that takes us out of our head, which allows the rest of our body to come online.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so, Kat, who are your clients? Because obviously we see you with the young, I mean, they're all quite young, sort of mid-20s to early 30s on Virgin Island. What's the range and age of clients that you work with outside of the show?
Yeah, I work with a lot of young clients. I would say probably 25 to late 40s is the general age range I work with. I have some up to like late 60s. Really? But in general, that's the age range.
And what about your own personal relationships too? How do you handle those?
It's really easy. It's a job. It's part of my life, and the people in my life support me and understand how impactful this work is, and you get to see how impactful it is by watching this show.
Do you have
Without a doubt.
Do you have a partner?
I do.
You do have a partner. And what does your partner think about what it is that you do?
Absolutely supportive.
Yeah?
Yes.
Amazing. How about you, Kat? Is that a complication? Have you got a partner?
Yes, and I think it is a little bit more difficult for me, I think for me sometimes to have enough relational energy to go around can be a little bit challenging, and to know when to kind of fill the cup and when to give.
Yeah.
I think it can be a little difficult, but I mean, ultimately, you know, there's more flow than not.
Yeah, and I'd imagine as well, for some of the people with intimacy issues, and you give every part of yourself to them, they can form an attachment to you as well. How do you navigate the period when the exploration that you've been doing with them and the teaching you've been doing with them has to finish, and then they have to go on? Because I'd imagine that connection would be quite hard for them to break.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really important part of the process, and most relationships end, you know, and so learning how to have a conscious ending to a relationship is just another relationship skill. So we welcome the attachment, and then we work through that ending, and the sessions are always one with a surrogate partner and one with a therapist, and they'll continue with the therapist after they finish with us to integrate and generalize.
So it's done side by side?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And who do you think progressed the most out on Virgin Island? Who do you think... Because we saw the difference, didn't we? Even with Jordan and Taylor when they came on the show.
I don't believe I can pick one person.
Right.
Like, seeing everyone for the first time, coming onto the island, and then seeing them as they left, and you'll see the finale when we get there.
Yeah.
But everyone grew. I know that I also grew during the show.
What do you think is the most common misconception about surrogates?
The most common misconception would be that sex always has to be involved, or that sex is the main goal. And really, with surrogate partner therapy, it's all about connection, helping someone connect to themselves, connect to others. And while we can potentially get there with clients, there isn't like a goal, and the speed that we go and how far we go is client dependent. So it really is all about relationship building more than anything.
Well, having had Jordan and Taylor in on the studio, and obviously the show was filmed about a year ago, the difference in the two of them from what we saw from those first two episodes was dramatic.
Confidence, how they held
So you
themselves.
clearly have
It's brilliant.
helped
So
them
proud of both.
enormously. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
and sharing a little bit of your story.
Very
Oh, hello.
fascinating.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. Here now are Spirit and Missy. who definitely aren't one-trick ponies. They are therapy miniature Shetlands who visit schools, care homes and hospitals to boost people's moods.
That was certainly the case for 9-year-old Gracie, whose life changed for the better after meeting the pony. She's here now with her mum, Alice, alongside Spirit and Mrs. Owner, Jess. Good morning, guys.
Morning, everybody.
Hello there. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Lovely to see you, Jess. Let's start talking to you first of all. So, your mum, first of all, rescued a Shetland pony.
Yes, her name was Amy.
Yeah.
And she was actually rescued off the back of a meat wagon. She'd had her foal ripped away from her. We lost her when she was 42 years old.
She reached a good age.
She did indeed. She had a very full life.
Yeah.
She was a typical Shetland, full of character.
Yeah. So this was where your passion started, essentially.
Yes.
So what impact do you see the horses having on people?
So horses are really non-judgmental and they just bring such joy. They just brighten up a room. I mean, Grace, as soon as she sees Spirit, that's it. You know, her heart's melted, isn't it? Yeah.
One of the things as well, Jess, you explained that actually you were watching this morning and that's where you got the idea to use the Shetlands and the miniature ponies that you had in this way.
Yes. So it was KL pony therapy with the guide horse Digby. I was watching and it inspired me as I'd had Bella, my little black Shetland at that time, wanted to share the love and the happiness that I could see it would bring to many others that couldn't have that accessibility.
Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous. So can you tell us who have we got here?
So this is Spirit, the teddy bear.
Yes.
Who stole Grace's heart.
Yeah.
And this is Missy, the unicorn, who's also a little sassy pants.
Yes, and they're both very glittery.
They
and
are.
Very stylish.
Yes,
their
that's
appearance.
the magical unicorn, so coming out.
Look at
And look,
Gracie.
Gracie, you love Spirit, don't you?
Yes.
What do you like to do with Spirit?
I like to lead her and give her lots of hugs.
Lots of hugs and cuddles. Does she ever misbehave?
Yes.
What does she do when she misbehaves? Does she run around and get excited?
Not listen a little bit, maybe.
Does she try and walk off stage?
And Alice, good morning. You're
Morning.
Grace's mum.
Yes.
So tell me, how did Gracie first meet Teddy?
So we started going to, Jess was running Easter events, so she runs lots of events during the school holidays. So we started going to those and we just noticed such a massive difference to Gracie. She'd been really struggling in mainstream school and we were awaiting a specialist provision. And my husband has a very complex medical condition. He spends half the year in hospital. So Gracie has a really hard home life. I think things can be really upsetting for her. And she's just so happy every time she sees Spirit. She counts down the days till we go, and then she loves it. And then afterwards, she's so much happier and so much more settled after. So I think it's like, it's not just when she's with Spirit, it's the before and after as well. It just means so much to her.
And her experience with spending time with the ponies means that she's been able to get back to school?
Yes, so she's just started at a fantastic new school and they have 2 therapy dogs.
They've got dogs as well.
Like Buddy, like our
Yes.
Like our Buddy. So what are the dogs called, Gracie?
Snoopy and Lita.
And are they well behaved?
Yes.
OK. And I think some of your friends from school are watching this morning, aren't they? So if you want to have a look at camera 2, you can say hello. There you go. They're all watching. It's extraordinary, Jess, seeing the difference in Gracie, hearing what Alice is saying about the difference it's made to her life. We've seen people talk about the difference that Buddy will make eventually when he's properly trained and he can go and be a part of a family with somebody who's dealing with complex needs as well. What's it like for you and everybody that works with you?
It's amazing. It's inspirational. And it's so heartwarming to watch and actually see the progress of everybody. Nothing else beats animal therapy to me.
No. Because you have other animals as well, don't you?
Yeah, so I've got the 4 therapy ponies. I've got therapy rabbits, therapy guinea pigs. We've got our
star of the show. He's a little cockerel who cock-a-doodle-oos on command.
On command?
On command.
And you got the idea, actually, for this therapy from seeing the show.
Yeah.
From on here.
I think it's one of the things that I've been lucky enough to work with a few animal therapy groups, and I've seen footage of the Dinky Donkeys going into care homes, particularly. And you do that with your ponies, don't you?
Yes, so we go into care homes, we go to schools, educational settings, hospices. We do a lot with Acorns Children's Hospice. We volunteer for them. And one of the most special moments was actually a lady that I met in a care home that was really subdued, didn't socialise at all. And I found all about her history, that she was a jockey in her earlier years. The staff knew nothing of this.
Because she didn't talk to anybody.
She didn't talk to anybody. She'd got no family. So, you know, it was a different life for her after that. She really interacted with the home. We did regular visits.
To be able to access, and you'll be able to speak to this with regards to Gracie's experience, access the opportunity to communicate with people thanks to these animals is just so important, isn't it?
Yeah, Gracie's always really struggled with her speech and language, but she really enjoys reading to spirits, so that's really good practice for her and really educational. So it's just been amazing. She's just loves it.
We can see how proud she is. And Gracie, we're very proud of you as well. So we've got your little present that we thought you might quite like. Of some bits and pieces in here that you can take to school and you can show your friends at school. There's all sorts of things in here. Are you getting some more stuff?
Yes, and we've got all the bits and pieces to take to school so you can show all of your chums and your friends. And look, it's like a unicorn. So it is actually... There you go, darling.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you. You're doing such an amazing job.
That's
and you love it so much, don't you? Yeah. There you go, that's for you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Jess, thank you for bringing the horses in as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
That's no small mission, but it's lovely to have them in the studio. Really special. Makes us all feel very happy.
Thank
you.
Hello.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
First guest today has been called the most inspiring man on social media.
For the past 20 years, personal trainer Javino McLean has dedicated his life to training those who've previously felt overlooked or unwanted in a gym.
This includes people with disabilities, long-term illnesses, or even conditions like dementia. And his inspirational workout videos have now won the hearts of millions around the world and gained him Hollywood fans like Michelle Pfeiffer.
3, 2, 1, 1. That's all you. And again, nearly there, babe. Go on now. I'm not doing it for you. Push it on. Keep going, Justin. Keep going. Keep going. Get to it, get to it, get to it. Go on.
It's so inspirational.
I texted you last night talking about the one with Lucas crossing the road. I was literally floods of tears.
As he releases his debut book, You Are Not Your Limits, thrilled that Javino joins us alongside two of his very special clients, Amy Hodgkiss and Josh Coy. Morning, everybody.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
So lovely to meet you all. Javino, congratulations, firstly, on the book.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
It's a wonderful read. I discovered you, as you know, just randomly. You popped up on my algorithm and I was gripped from the first moment I saw one of your videos training up your incredibly inspiring clients. And I was hooked. And I've been hooked ever since. We've been mates since then for a long time. But I'm trying to sort of explain to somebody who maybe hasn't come across you where you found this passion for training and helping people. Because it's not just about being physically fit for you, is it?
It's about forever friendships, and these guys and my clients that I've trained over the years, I think muscle can go, Ben. I think muscles and aesthetics, you get to a certain age, that can go. But when you truly care for people and love people, that's what will last forever for me. And to me, just making sure people feel seen and valued and just appreciated, that to me is the magic.
And it all kind of started a little bit by accident. You'd always loved sport, you'd loved cricket, you'd done all that, but you spotted a chap in the park who was watching his family play cricket, and from across the field, you just felt that something wasn't quite right.
And I had no reason, I love telling the story of Ishmael, but I had no reason to go over, but there's something inside of me felt like I just needed to intervene. I seen that he wanted in. It reminded me of, you know, when you see Wimbledon and as the ball's going, people doing this. And he was doing that with the ball in his wheelchair. And long story short, I went over and I just made sure that he got involved, and I brought his family into the group of cricket that I was already coaching a big cricket session. And I just made him bat, and I said, for 2 hours, you're going to bat. And I made a game of it where if he hit the ball, everyone fielding, it was like 24 people. Nothing happens. If he swings and he misses, everybody did one press-up or one burpee. And his wife gave me a hug that just meant everything. She didn't speak a word of English, but I knew exactly what that hug meant, and I knew that that was my calling. I don't know what made me go over, but I'm so glad that I did go over.
And that moment as well, Jovino, when you suddenly realised that there was this gentleman who was sitting in his wheelchair, enjoying watching the sport, but desperate to get more involved. That was such a spark for you to go, there must be lots of people who feel excluded by exercise and sport because of physical issues or whatever. And actually, is there a way that you can make that accessible to them?
I think it's about treating people normal. It's about normality, Ben. I think it's the most powerful thing. And that's what my book is really about. It's about the power of normality and how the smallest acts of inclusion can change someone's life. And I think my work has allowed me to just be in a position where I'm just grateful, man. And I want people to just really absorb gratitude and just be really thankful for who they are and realise that they can do... When you watch these superstars do some of the stuff that they do, it instantly makes you go, I can do a lot more than what I thought I ever could.
Yeah.
And I think it makes people kind of realise that.
And from reading the book as well, it doesn't just improve people's fitness and strength. It means that people can get back their independence.
Of course it does, yeah.
You write in the book about Kira, about her being able to get in and out of the car now because you've trained her.
Yeah, definitely. I want him to live.
Yeah.
I think living life to the fullest is a gift that not everybody gets. And these wonderful people that I train, and I've trained for 20 years, I want them to enjoy life to the fullest. And sometimes there's certain things that we take for granted. The ability just to move, and it sounds silly, but getting in a car. I want these guys to experience the most magical things that life has to offer. And some of the magical things are the most simplest things.
One of the things I love, though, about watching your films as well is you don't give them an easy time.
No!
Amy, he works you really hard, doesn't he?
He definitely does. We don't know what we're doing when we get in the gym, but I'm telling you, we give it 110% all the time.
That's what you want to hear.
You got it.
Amy, how did you discover Jovino, and what's he been able to help you with?
I discovered Jovino through TikTok. My friend actually sent me his videos, and I just knew that I had to get in with him. For me, personally, he's allowed me to be more independent, give me a lot more confidence back, because I never used to leave the house. So he definitely has given me so many opportunities that I'm so, so grateful for.
And Josh, he pushes you hard, but he makes you laugh too.
Oh, always, every time, every time. Whether it's a joke or just by how outlandish the workout is, he always makes me laugh.
And how did you first meet each other?
I met him because, basically, because his health centre is just right down the road from me. My auntie told me about him, and then we got in touch, and this will always this will stay with me, this quote, because the first time I met him, he said, I don't care about what you can't do. I only care about what you can do. And that just set the standard going forward. I knew that I'd made the right choice, and here we are.
Here you are.
Josh just mentioned there, it's a health centre. You call it a health centre. And that's a really deliberate thing that you've done.
Of course. A gym can be quite intimidating. It could be quite lonely, especially for people that are new to exercise. If you walk in the gym and you see stallions like Ben Shepherd doing his bicep curls and his jumps, it could be quite intimidating. So I wanted to create a place where you could walk in there and it's a place full of love, man. You could have them two doing some wheelchair exercise. It could have my mum doing some Pilates. It could have me doing some deadlifts over there, somebody doing... Just a place where all different calibre of humans are exercising together but we're all sharing the energy and the love of the place.
But what I love, Jovino, is that it's not somewhere, it's like not like an occupational therapy environment. It is a gym. There's hardcore people training there as well, in a community of people having a lot of fun. So people can come and be private members and pay, but you look after all of these members and you do it for free. You do it because you do it just because you know there's an important part of who you are and the difference it makes to them.
Of course, I've trained disabled people and disadvantaged people free for 23 years. And the reason being is we live in a world now where people chase money. If I train Josh or Amy and I take money off them, I'm training them for financial gain. I'm training them because I love them and I want them to live life. I want them to turn 50, 60, 70 and have memories, living their greatest life. If money comes into that conversation, it dilutes my care or my love for them. So as long as I live, I'll never take a penny off anybody disabled.
And some of the stuff you train the guys with is potentially life-saving as well, of course, because of the restrictions that they have with their mobility. You're training them to cope if they fell or come out of their chair or something goes wrong. I think some of the footage we've got is remarkable. Amy, how do you feel now physically after working out with Jovino?
I feel like there's a lot that's changed and it's all because of him. Like, when I started, I couldn't do half the things I can do now, and that's all because of Jovino.
Amazing. And how about you, Josh?
Well, I've seen a lot of improvement in both my physical strength and my mental strength, because a lot of the stuff what he does with me is really hard. But now, because I've done so much over the years, I can go into it and think I can do this.
Yeah.
And you never thought you could run, right?
No, I mean...
Now he's legging it.
Yeah, that is still, that is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, I was exhausted after that.
This clip here of you running around the centre.
Legging it, look at him.
Keep up now.
Yeah, that was hard work, but I'll tell you what, it's worth it because then everybody can see that and think, I can do that as well.
Yeah, and Amy as well. And we're running out of time, and we've got so much to talk about. You've gone global, all of you, because his videos are well known around the world. So you two and all the other clients are now superstars in your own right.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe it myself, and I'm so grateful for everybody's messages. It's just lovely from everybody around the world.
You know what I love the most, sorry, before we go? I tell people all the time, you're beautiful, you're strong. As big brother, I'm supposed to say that, but now, because they're superstars in their own right, I can just say, I told you so. But you've got people from all around the world
Which is exactly what big brothers do as well. So you listen to your big brother.
Yeah.
What a smashing human being, huh?
Amazing.
Absolutely. Your book, You Are Not Your Limits, by Jovino, is out now. You
Yes,
can go get it.
buy me book, guys.
I also feel like this could be a movie.
You think?
Yeah.
Let's make it.
Shall we make the movie?
You got the connections.
Let's give Michelle Pfeiffer a call, shall we?
Yes, Michelle Pfeiffer's one of your
give her a
fans. As she
call.
should be. Who would you think, Amy, who should play Jovino in the movie of his life?
I'd say Will Smith.
Will Smith would be bad.
Good choice.
He looks like him.
He looks like him, no, I don't.
And he's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. And what The Rock? What about The Rock? Oh, no, they're not so sure about that.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being
guys.
here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Josh. Thank you, Amy. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming on the show.
This is an incredible book. It's so inspiring. Can't recommend it enough.
You'll cry, for
You'll
sure.
cry.
And
I
you'll
cried.
laugh. Yeah.
You won't
you'll
cry
do
about the
it all.
introduction. No, that's a little bit embarrassing. Jovino, lovely to see you. Thank you,
you,
Amy
guys.
and Josh, for coming
Bye,
in.
everyone.
Oh, hello. Lovely to meet you. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. First, our guest sitting with us now is someone who's been breaking down barriers and challenging conventional beauty standards.
At just 3 foot 8 inches tall, 23-year-old Kate says she's the UK's smallest glamour model and is determined to prove that small is sexy.
So, as she continues to show that size doesn't matter, Kate Heller joins us now. Morning, Kate.
Morning.
Lovely to meet you this morning. So, look, talk us through why you initially decided to start your social media accounts and portraying fashion for people like yourself.
So it's quite clear that I grew up with achondroplasia and representation back in the day of the early 2000s, it wasn't there. So I decided to create a fashion account to showcase my outfits that I wore to sixth form at the time. It was so hard to create a different outfit each day. But yeah, I take an outfit of the day, as we call it nowadays, and post it every single day. And I found a lot of little people getting in touch to say thank you for creating that platform so they know where to get clothes from.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to buy clothes as any woman, any man, let alone being 3'8".
Yeah, yeah. And did you get some negative comments as well? Did you get people online not being quite so nice?
Yes, I did. I got loads of hate comments, but then the other side of it was that I often was sexualised by men.
Oh, really?
Even if I was wearing like a coat and trousers, and I mean like a big puffy coat and leggings or trousers, but my whole body's covered.
Yeah.
Or when I was posting bikini photos for body confidence, no other reason, I would get the same response. So no matter what you were wearing or what I was wearing, I would have been sexualised.
So was that part of the motivation for you to think, OK, so this is how I'm being viewed, I'm getting all this sort of attention, why don't I try and post things that are a bit more provocative as well?
Absolutely. I thought, why don't I just take risks by the head and tail and just do it? Because once you're online, there's no hiding yourself. Like, I'm going to be laughed at in the street, I'm going to be throwing comments up. So I thought, why don't I just
own it?
Go out there, own it, do it. And once I was getting this sort of attention, I stopped posting for a bit. And then Guy, my other half, suggested, why don't you make money from it? Why don't you monetize this? Get your confidence back up and create a platform. Go on OnlyFans. Go on Insta, post these more sort of lingerie-esque photos.
And what was your initial reaction when he said that to you? Actually, this is quite a good idea. I'm going to take my power back, and maybe, you know, the people who then get in touch are fans anyway.
I was actually quite nervous to begin with.
Yeah.
Because of the connotations that come with the site. Although anybody can put any content on there, from trains to makeup to what I do.
Right.
I held back. And then once I did it, it was the best thing I've ever done.
Why?
Because I'm taking that power back as a woman in today's age. I'm creating positivity for people with my body. My body's not often seen on magazines, in the media, especially in swim or sort of lingerie.
Yeah.
So let alone everywhere else.
Yeah.
And this is what people with dwarfism need to see too.
And also, of course, it's monetised. You're finally getting people that pay money regularly to see your content, whatever you're creating as well. How did that feel to suddenly be making money from it?
Incredible. I was a broke student at the time that I started, so to be able to earn my own money, it's not easy for me to go out and stack supermarket shelves, of course.
Yeah.
So to work from home and have those hours where I can work 3 hours a day, so we can have any job to a certain extent, but I like the time sort of freedom I have. So I can work 3 hours a day, go walk the dog, go and buy some clothes, go on adventures with Guy. We went to Scotland for 4 weeks because I can just work from my phone so easily. So, yeah.
That's brilliant. And so what's the varying amounts that you get? And has it increased as you've been doing it? Is there even kind of more interest?
It varies so much I can't really say a figure.
Right, okay.
Sometimes it isn't as much as people think, because once you invest it back in, dresses, shoes, hair, makeup, nail appointments, like
But you can make thousands of pounds a month.
Yes, you can.
So if you have a good month.
Yeah.
And equally, so your partner Guy, you've been together, is it 2 years?
2.5 years.
2.5 years you've been
Almost
together
3.
now. And he helps you with the content as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's a marine engineer, gets his hands dirty in an engine room on super yachts, and managed to teach himself how to market, how to take photos, how to do the Instagram algorithm in a matter of months, which took me 6 years to do.
And what do your family and friends think about it? Do you have a good reaction?
Yeah, they're so positive about it, and they're so pleased that I've managed to go out there and forge a career for myself and not have to worry about me, either financially or sort of worry about me still being at home. I moved out at 19.
Yeah.
So they love that, and they're so supportive. Even my mum's got into latex now. She got
Really?
a latex skirt for her birthday. She's going to kill me for saying it. It is fabulous to see mum get into it too, and to see her feel confident.
Yeah.
And the impact that you're having on your community as well must be really, really important for you.
It's massively important, especially for representation, especially growing up, because I didn't see that. when I got into my later teens,
Yeah.
when I wanted to start shopping for lingerie, I didn't see my body on these posters. So I think it's nice to give girls confidence in late teenage girls in their 19s sort of age to see that and to feel normalised.
And what's the future for you,
Yeah.
do you think, Kate?
For me, I'd absolutely love to do some more magazine work, some TV work. I'd love to work with some more brands. Yeah, just really get out there and make the most of what I'm doing whilst it's here.
That representation piece is huge now as well, isn't it?
It's if you can see it, you can be it, and yeah, it's inclusion. Yeah, it's brilliant.
And you feel safe doing it as well? There'll be people who will be concerned that, you know, with the advent of posting more provocative stuff, sometimes you can get unwanted attention as well. That doesn't concern you?
No, I'm in complete control of what I post because it's just myself doing it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm putting out there. I know sort of what I want to put out there, what will be seen, what will be saved or otherwise. So it's nice to have that freedom.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for being here this morning and having a chat to us. Thanks, Kate.
Great to meet you, Kate.
Yeah,
Oh, hello.
nice to meet
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
And two of the virgins, Jason and Taylor, are with us now this morning. We've been chatting about it already, haven't we? It looked like a gorgeous place, by the way.
It was stunning.
Absolutely beautiful. Taylor, so why did you choose to do it? Because, as Ben has said, it's a really brave move, actually.
Yeah, well, I saw it on TikTok, actually. There was a comedian kind of taking the mick out of it, and I was like, no way. So I looked into it and was like, oh, there's a show for virgins. And I was speaking to it with a colleague at work, and she was like, you should totally apply. And I said, no, but ended up looking at it and kind of treated the application process as a mini therapy session by itself and just really spilt my guts, thinking that I would never get called back.
Right.
And then they did contact me, and it was so fast. And then everything's kind of happening, and then you end up on the island and you're still like reeling, going, how did this happen? But yeah, I was kind of at the point where I felt like I'd tried everything and had kind of just gone, right, I'm too scared, just give up. And like this came as a really good opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So it was a mixture of bad experiences along the way and fear that had meant you'd got to the age of 30 and you hadn't had a chance to lose your virginity. And then it would become a bigger thing than it probably ever should have been.
Honestly, it gets bigger and bigger as you get older, especially because you start off as a teenager and, like, some people haven't, some people have. Then you get to your mid-20s and some people are, like, really weird about it. And then you get to your 30s and they're like, we've given up on you. Like, they start making films about you. Then
And you'd
just
almost given up on yourself as well. I mean, you've said you'd kind of gone, well, that's it, I'm not...
I am happy with the way I am, and I'm a full person without all of this. But it was such a shame that, like, it's just something that I didn't have that everyone else did.
Yeah. And Jason, you went in there, you seemed to have a real problem when you started to watch the show about intimacy and any form of kind of touch,
Absolutely.
really.
I couldn't do any touching. The handshake, I didn't think a handshake was that hard, but intense.
You found it difficult. Why? Where did that come from?
I don't know, look, my family would never hug us.
Right.
Like, my granddad would give me, like, I don't know, like, maybe like that, I can't do it, but like a handshake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't do it myself. But I don't know, whenever someone's ever tried to hug me, I feel like, oh, I'm getting suffocated, I don't like that, and just don't touch me, keep a distance. Like, social distancing. COVID was great for me. Do you know what I mean? It was great, I was like 6 feet, yeah, amazing. But I didn't want to always be like that. I wanted to one day meet a woman and be able to just, like, not just a handshake, like a hug and just feel great, but not just in a romantic way either, like just hugging my mum.
Because you didn't hug your mum, did you?
No.
And that you weren't a huggy family at all?
Not at all, not at all. But it was her 50th the other day, and hello, Mum. But no, so we hugged and it was great. And
how has she found that? Has she enjoyed being able to hug you as well and being able to share that?
She's still a bit on edge about hugging still, but she's still a lot older than me. Well, not a lot older, sorry. She'll kill me now. But I feel like with hugging, she's set in her ways about not wanting to hug, but she has started hugging, and it's nice to see.
Makes a difference.
For me, it feels so great now. It feels so natural. Like, can I hug you?
Yeah.
But, like, what about consent as well?
Yeah.
You learned that was drilled in.
But it was lovely, actually, to see even on the island, like, you first of all put your hand on someone's knee and then hold their hand too, and the therapist seemed really kind too.
All the therapists, you can't knock them, even if you tried. They're so amazing. And we were definitely thrown in the deep end, but they were there to guide us, and they truly did guide us. And I can't spoil anything, but I know, 'cause I was there, but I know it's going to get a lot better, and some people are going to shock you. I can't say who, but it's going to shock you.
But it is an extraordinary thing, though, Taylor, because we watch you, and these are very personal, intimate things you're sharing. And even the slightest suggestion that someone's going to come close to you, you break down in tears. You were so emotionally sort of caught up in what was going on.
So I was like, I'm fine with hugging my friends and I'm very tactile with my friends and my family, but it was a case of, it was the act of being desired that made me really, it kind of put the fear in me, and I'd freeze up and I'd start feel like, you know, crying, obviously. But for me, I am quite an emotional person, and it was this kind of freeze in the headlights moment that I kept on running into, which was causing the issue. And it was constant. And then eventually, like, I ended up on the island, and they were like, I remember, I think there's a part in episode 2 where I cry in front of Tom, but before I started, she said to Tom, she went, Taylor might cry. And I was thinking, I'm not going to cry. He's just looking at me. And then he looked at me and I was like, bing! And it just started, so I was like...
And was Tom your surrogate?
No, Tom's one of the other islanders.
He's one of the other islanders.
Yeah.
Because you had one of the things I was fascinated by was the sex therapists that you've got there that are helping you with your intimacy. Some of them are surrogates, so some of them are there potentially to just explain what Jason. Maybe you can explain what the surrogates are there for.
Well, I didn't have a surrogate, but the surrogates, Kat and Andre, they're there for the more hands-on, the nitty-gritty, as
the physicality.
The physicality of it, and. You'll definitely see what happens with that. But
so if you are prepared and confident enough to go forward with something more physical than
they're the ones that do it.
The really intimate stuff, they are there for you to enable you to do that.
Yeah, they're there to
guide you through
you all the way through it and help you do it.
And help you so you know what you're doing and you can feel safe and you can feel confident. That's an extraordinary job, isn't it?
Well, it's better than, because if you're in a situation where you're going to go home and then have to do this with a stranger, like, they're in a place where they're able to guide you through it, keep you safe, keep you calm, and take it in a really therapeutic place. It's not like hooking up with somebody on a night out. It's therapy, and it's all about taking you through the steps of intimacy and getting you to there.
I like, actually, how they discuss everything mentally and emotionally too, as well as just the physicality of everything. You just talked then about going home, because you recorded it, what, like a year ago or something like that?
Full year. We're on the anniversary.
So how has it been, like, since leaving the island? Because I think it's very easy to...
Yeah, when you're all there.
Yeah, and you're supported by, as I said, the therapists, I think, are great, and they seem to support you in every way that you need to. But to suddenly leave the island and then be popped back into your regular life with your families and your friends. Has it been since leaving the island, and have you been dating?
Do you
want to go first?
Oh, well, thank you, ladies first. Well, I mean, for me, it was getting home was kind of like, for me, I know some people slid straight into it. It was kind of like hitting that brick wall all over again, because you get home and then you have to start putting it into practice. I have been on a couple of dates, but I've been so much more selective. Because for me, I was pushing myself to do things I was uncomfortable with in an attempt to try and, like, make myself do the thing. Whereas now I can do what I feel is best for me. And I feel like my dating life has been a lot more positive because of it. Not necessarily more fruitful, but but I feel like I'm not afraid to go on a date. I'm not afraid to make the first move. And that's something that it's given me that I didn't really have before. So that's really nice. Like, I can take that home with me.
That's fabulous. And what about you, Jason?
So mine's a bit different. Well, OK. So a couple of weeks ago, I asked someone out for the first time on a date.
Amazing.
I can't say who this person is, but you'll see her on TV. I'm not going to spoil who it is, but she's currently abroad, and I said, would you ever come back to the UK, have a drink, as a date? And she was saying, I don't know if I'll come back to the UK. So I said, is that a rejection? And she was like, don't be silly, of course it's not a rejection. So I was like, yes! And I'm like... Maybe I would have preferred it as a rejection, because what if she doesn't come back to the UK? But I'm glad I did it, because without the island, I would not have had the confidence. Like, short sleeves now, I would never have worn this ever. Like, I'm so more comfortable.
So you're more exposing yourself as well. It's amazing, isn't it? For a lot of people, they'll think that's a really simple thing, just putting a T-shirt on and getting your arms out in the sunshine, but actually it was a really big deal for you, Jason.
It was.
This whole thing is a really big deal for all of you. You're so brave. It's fascinating.
Thank you.
Really, really engaging watch as well.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
And how much you've come on as people as well since the first show, because we've only watched the first one, haven't we? The first two. But you were like so confident and sparkly and
Thanks.
well done.
Oh, thank you. I'm not crying, which is a massive difference from the show.
Can I just say, I sat out that session because I had a sore throat because I left the aircon
Oh, this was the first one. You know what? Yeah. But do you think you would have sat it out if you went back and did it now, even with a sore throat?
Maybe, OK, maybe. But now, like, presently, not at all. I'll be proper in. I'll be like, yeah, man, wave it about, everything.
Thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us.
And good luck with the dating and the future exploits. Long may they be fruitful and exciting.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Virgin Island continues tonight, 9 o'clock on Channel 4. Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Every woman's experience of childbirth is unique, but most women will experience pain.
But could 39-year-old Lavisa Dahl have found the key to relieving the pain without medication?
Lavisa believes having an orgasm during labour is the answer to a better birth, and she's talking from experience. She's here now to tell us more alongside midwife Marley Hall. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Very nice to meet you. Tell me, first of all, where this idea came from.
With orgasmic childbirth. You know, when I was pregnant with my first, I have 3 children, and then somebody recommended me the documentary Orgasmic Birth by Deborah Pascali-Bonaro. So I watched it with being super intrigued, super fascinated by this idea, seeing women have actually orgasm during birth. But I didn't think that would be possible for me.
Because
actually at the moment I had been in abusive relationships. I was still struggling with my sexuality and kind of like I had met my husband and I was, you know, healing a lot. Yeah. But I was still sometimes struggling to orgasm in intercourse, and, you know, it was, so I didn't really think I could have that, but maybe somebody else. And I didn't. In my first birth, I didn't. I had a very beautiful home birth, 22 hours, so it was also challenging.
Wow.
Definitely, but it was very beautiful. I wouldn't call it orgasmic.
No. Right. So your first birth, even though you knew of the idea, you didn't feel quite ready. You didn't think that was going to happen. What about your second birth?
Well, my second birth, then I thought, well, what if? What if? So I started to investigate, like, how could I prepare myself? And I dove into certain topics. So I dove into embodiment, feminine embodiment, pleasure, relaxation, visualization, and surrender. So these were the 5 tools that I kind of used to make myself ready, to prepare myself.
And what happened during that second birth? Did you manage to do it?
I had like the most ecstatic birth. It was like, it's actually like hard to put words on it, but it felt like maybe like a cosmic orgasm or an energy orgasm, or like this totally ecstatic state where you're just one with everything, like a oneness experience.
But it wasn't strictly...
But it was no physical orgasm, no.
And this was all done without any sort of medication? You were doing it purely through stimulation and pleasure and...
Yeah, and in this the second birth, I didn't use any like stimulation of intimate parts in this one. Because actually my daughter was present. She was 3 at the moment.
Right.
So she was present together with my mother-in-law.
Right. So, and you don't necessarily want to be doing that in front of your mother-in-law?
Exactly. That could be a little bit intimidating, but she is lovely.
Yeah. But then the third time lucky, essentially, you had another child, and then this was your plan this time.
Yeah, and this time I thought, OK, I'm going to go all into... the sexual aspect of it. So I was preparing more with sexual pleasure. But in the second birth, I was preparing more with sensual pleasure, like scents
Sure.
and
Candles.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this time I was preparing more with sexual pleasure.
And that involved your husband as well during the birth?
Yes, exactly. So he was doing some nipple stimulation, and I was stimulating my intimate parts, and it was. And that was, we had spoken about that, of course, on beforehand as well. So I was basically using what science tells us, that if you focus on pleasurable sensations, you can reduce the perception of pain, because the focus of the brain shifts.
So because of the pleasure and the experience of that, you didn't notice that actually this was really painful?
Yeah, actually, like, I also have rephrased the word pain.
Right.
Because, and this is not to take away any woman's experience of labor as painful, but I think we have a lot to gain from looking at those sensations as intense sensations instead.
Marley, you're a midwife, so you deliver children all the time. Have you ever had anybody have an orgasm at birth?
Not that they've told me about.
Right, OK.
At the time. So I've never actually witnessed anybody experience an orgasm whilst I'm helping them have their baby.
Sure.
In the 16 years that I've been a midwife, I have had one or two mention it afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
When I visited them at home, perhaps, but they've been with somebody else, another midwife through their labour. But I think it's something that probably most people wouldn't disclose, because there might be some shame around it, I guess. Interestingly enough, I actually did ask this morning on social media, and the response I had was from a midwife who said that she had experienced it herself.
Goodness me.
So I think when you ask the question, more and more people are going to come forward and say, oh, yeah, that happened to me.
So what about the process then? As a midwife, is it something that you could advocate? What do you make of what Louisa is saying?
Well, at the end of the day, what she's explaining is the increase in oxytocin, and that can help to reduce the perception of pain for some people. And more oxytocin actually helps with contractions as well. So a lot of NHS trusts, in their guidelines or their information for, let's say, induction of labour, for example, they might say, to kind of help to get things going a little bit, is to have sex ultimately.
Yes.
To help, with those hormones. They don't specifically talk about orgasmic birth, but you can kind of see what they're saying,
where it's coming from,
and along those lines, because we know that oxytocin helps the whole process, ultimately.
And surely to shift a woman's perception as well away from pain, because I think that that's such an important thing. If you go into something frightened, you're going to be frightened.
Yes, and you will tense, right?
Yeah.
So you will tense. And often also, when we think about pain, we relate it to something that is bad. But the sensations of birth, or the birth waves of the contractions, they are not bad. They are actually helping you getting closer to your baby. So it's a totally different type of sensation, actually.
There will be lots of people watching that may think it's a bit distasteful, and may think it's inappropriate to be sort of behaving like this when you're having birth, giving birth.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of... it's a taboo topic. I really think that we need to remember that birth is part of the female sexuality. Because in the same way as menstruation is, or menopause, giving birth is sexual. We give birth with our sexual organ. And yes, it can be controversial to say you can use, you can stimulate the intimate parts in labor, but really the intimate parts are really already being stimulated. Because
it's been a very positive experience for you, hasn't it?
It's so interesting to talk to them both. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
But before all that, new data has revealed that water pollution in England is at an all-time 10-year high, causing hundreds of wild swimmers to fall ill from serious infections.
It's a big issue. One woman who's deeply passionate about clean water is our next guest, 28-year-old Megan, who took a love for the environment to a whole new level. She is committed by marrying the River Avon.
How beautiful are those pictures?
Lovely, weren't they?
You in the water, yes. You heard that right. Her one-of-a-kind wedding was complete with a wedding dress, guests and vows. And Megan joins us now to tell us all about it. Hello, Megan.
Wish we could have come to this.
No, I wish I could have invited you. That would have
Wish
been
we
lovely.
knew you then. It was wonderful. Looks so nice.
So, firstly, you've got your husband with you right here.
Here's my darling.
There's Avon.
There he is.
Yeah, a little bit of a river Avon. Tell us about this wedding, because it sounds absolutely beautiful.
It was a really magical day. People say it's the best day of their lives, and it definitely was for me.
Was it the vows that you took? What was it that made everyone so emotional?
Well, I'm a writer, so I put a lot of thought into what I wanted to say. There was a film crew that were there. The shots that you just saw were from a documentary film, Rave On for the Avon, of which my wedding is the finale. So we knew that this story was going to keep being told beyond that day. But also, I had an incredible celebrant, a really old family friend of mine that has known my parents for a very long time. And she does funerals, mostly. And this was her first wedding. And she told me afterwards that she has never cried at any ceremony she's done before or since.
Aww.
But she cried on my wedding day.
That's so nice.
And it got all of us, you know, looking out into that audience, everyone was weeping.
Yeah.
I'd never been to a wedding before, and there I was in a dress.
You've never been to a wedding before?
I'd never been to a wedding.
How did you enjoy your own wedding?
It was great. I
You
loved
should do
it.
more weddings.
Well, I went to a couple last year, and I love weddings.
Was it hard to organise? Were you bridezilla at all? I mean, how did the day go?
I don't think I was bridezilla. I hope I wasn't. Luckily, I had a lot of support. I've got a lot of very creative friends, you know.
The outfit's amazing.
The outfit, my mum helped me buy this dress from a charity shop. My friends from school, because, you know, I married the Avon, which is the Bristol River, so we wanted to do it in a kind of quirky Bristolian way.
Great.
Have you taken your husband's name yet? Have you illegally taken my name?
I haven't done it legally because the paperwork seemed a bit long. But it's kind of my stage name, because since the wedding I've been performing my poems a lot more and getting dressed up for morning telly.
And
So it's
how,
nice to have two names. You
Sorry
know?
to interrupt. How are you with him playing away?
Well, it's an open relationship.
It's an open relationship.
It's a very open relationship.
So when you see people swimming in there, you're like, hang on a sec.
I love going to the
Get your
river.
dirty boats out of my man.
Look, I know I'm green right now, but I don't often get jealous. I love going to the river and seeing lots of people enjoying being near the river. And I've been on tour recently, and I've been swimming in a lot of other rivers.
Megan, you've
And I
got
don't think that they're jealous either.
you've got a lovely vibe about you. You've got such lovely energy. And this came from a really serious place in all, didn't it? Because, I mean, how long have you been wild swimming? And did you grow up around the river?
So I grew up in Bristol, and I always thought the Avon was too dangerous to swim in. Inaccessible, muddy, polluted.
Bad boy, you said.
A bad boy.
It's a bad boy. She's married a bad boy.
My parents said, stay away from that river. It's
Yeah.
a dirty bad boy.
Yeah.
And then I started swimming. Luckily, I've got family that live in Wales and Scotland, so we would swim. I didn't know it was called wild swimming back then.
Just swimming, wasn't it? Yeah,
was
exactly.
Just swimming.
Same.
So I can't really remember when I first started swimming, I've just always been drawn to water. And I think we are all drawn to water in a way, because we're mostly water, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We're over 50% water, and so's the world.
What's lovely is so many people cared. I mean, you got this wedding crowdfunded. I think you raised about £500 of it, spent £1,000 on it. So many people do care about our waterways. I mean, if we look at some of the statistics in 2024, 331 people had to see a doctor, and 79% were reported that the medical professionals had attributed that illness to sewage pollution. It's so sad, isn't it?
It's really sad, and it's not just an issue here, you know? I mean, we've got a fully privatised water system in the UK, one of the most expensive ones as well, and the water's still shoddy. And 50% of the world's population, 50% of hospital beds in the world right now are taken up by somebody suffering from an illness related to water contamination.
That is an incredible statistic.
It causes more deaths every year than all violence, including wars, you know? Water is an essential part of life. And I think just as it's a human right to have access to clean drinking water, I think it's a human right to have access to water that you can also swim in and be in, and for it to improve your mental and physical well-being.
And it's unbelievable, isn't it, the difference it makes?
Yeah, you said you have a relationship with the sea.
Yeah. I'm more of a salt guy,
Yeah.
so, but, you know, I respect the rivers, respect the fresh
Would you
water.
ever consider, you know, a little relationship?
I'm married already,
Getting
but
married?
I'm definitely cheating on my wife with Hampstead Ponds.
All the time.
To be fair...
Is that not going to sound... She's cool with it, though.
She does as well, yeah. So, but
There you
there
go.
is something about being in water. Doesn't matter if it's the winter or the summer. It's just something to sort. You come out and you're like, I'm ready for the day.
Yeah, it's transformative because you're entering a different element, aren't you?
What is the message that you want to get across to people out there who are watching today?
So I want to say that there's a lot to be scared about in the world right now, particularly with water pollution. And this campaign, there's a lot to be angry about because, you know, our bills are just going up and up. They Ofwat have given allowance for water companies to raise the bills by 30% every year. So there's a lot to be angry and scared about. But what we wanted to do with the wedding was to focus on love and joy and union and the strength that bringing people together through those joyful moments. Like, we don't have many ceremonies left in our human Western world right now, but we still have weddings. Yeah. Everyone loves a wedding. Yeah. So that's what we wanted to do. We want to give out a message of hope. And there's an empowerment. I think coming out of the water, you feel stronger. I didn't think I'd be sat on morning telly in a wedding dress, but the swimming in the river has given me the power to have a voice.
Megan, if people are watching this and they're like, well, I'm not really a swimmer, it's not even about swimming, it's about being, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just about being in nature, being in, whether it's mountains or beaches or rivers. It is that notion of just, like, stillness and a reset. I think everyone...
And you just want it to be clean.
Yeah.
I mean, you just want clean waters.
What are you going to do for your next anniversary? Because talk about bad boy, last year you broke your leg.
I did, yeah. So...
Naughty River Avon.
Well, I'm trying to work out what the message is there, but I've done 2 pilgrimages now, one to the source of the river and one to the mouth. I went to Avon Mouth for my
Where's the source?
The source is near Malmesbury kind of area. So you walk through a lot of private land because 97% of riverbanks are on private land. So we only have access to 3% of our rivers in England and Wales, which is wild. Yeah, luckily, with the Thames, you can walk all the way up and down it. There's footpaths, but there's not for the Avon. I was trying to go to the river for a swim, and I slipped and I broke my leg. So access is really important. There's Right to Rome is an amazing campaign group, and they've got an event coming up on Sunday, the 27th of this month. And because how are you supposed to build a relationship with something that you don't know? And how do you love something you don't know? And then how do you protect it? So, yeah, we need to work on ways to get to the water and build on this relationship and build this love.
Can I just say, the River Avon is very, very lucky. I think that River Avon's punching.
Oh, it is.
Gorgeous. You know what I mean?
But have you met my darling?
Yeah, but she's right.
I think we're quite well matched.
She's right. Thank you, Megan.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the first person to have fallen in love with the river, and I don't think I'll be the last, but I really hope that the rivers will still be alive and well in the future.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Megan. You can see the documentary Rave on the River Avon, independent cinemas across the country. You've been brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.